That's right. You guys should all be standing up, clapping, lighting a match. I got news for you guys. It's going to be an outstanding show. I'm very excited to be back, guys. It's been, what now, a week? It's been a full week, right? We did Twitch last week, and everybody goes, what, no Crossfire? We did it on Twitch. There wasn't a lot of news. And boy, did we do the right move there, because it was great being on Twitch last week. We streamed some games. We hung out. We talked about the small amount of topics that were a big deal last week. But this week, we've really got a show for you. And look at this panel. Take a second and look at this panel. I am so excited about doing tonight's show. You guys have no idea. Some of these guys I hadn't spoke to at all. I know of them. They're great. They've got amazing shows of their own. I can't wait. This is an absolute feast on Crossfire tonight. Guys, please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I see the great Pope Art is here, formerly known as Xbox Pope. The show is blessed. Okay? I appreciate that, Pope. Thank you. I know it's very late over there in England, but I appreciate you being here. FAKEManBearPig, all the other Mooch Maniac family members. Guys, speaking of Mooch Maniac family members, if you look at the description right there, there's the join button. And it really would mean the world to me if you guys would join the channel, become a part of the family. It's just, it helps out more than you guys could honestly ever believe. That being said, let me take a few seconds here and just thank each one of these individuals one by one. The great Sir X-Man, JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Frostbite Slash, MumbleRanting Gaming, TysonWeb509, TrueWiddy, Kn1ght Ripper7, Big Chuck 777, Alphonso Carter, BRAP, Jamie, Damion, the great Jimmy Harrison, who's here and let us know that the super chat's working. The great Jimmy Harrison, thank you so much. Zombilla Ice Cream, Andy Hart, DadOfWar, Isaac Gentry, fantastic name. FAKEManBearPig, another great name. Gaming with Persona, Jay Bari, which, by the way, check both those guys out on What's Up PlayStation, Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Domino Zero, SupremeSamurai, Who Are You 5, your boy Roy, Smokes901, Tactical Gamer, Donnell Brown, DatGuySmitty, 4-Star General, Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blades, and our VIP Mooch Maniacs, Shadow Assassin, Strictly Gaming. Strictly! Wait, joined me on Twitch earlier this week playing some great Saints Row. The Wise Old Gamer and our honorable mentions. We miss you out there. Percolator 9000, the great Marty Bison, Olamoka 17, CJ UK, Remarkable Knights, Rated D Demon, and our forever Mooch Maniac, Longshot 316. Again, shout out to the great Jimmy Harrison. He says, oh snap, my man Porter Rock's on. What's up, bro? Shout out to Jimmy. And absolutely, we're going to get into our guests right now. Guys, let me start with the one and only. You guys might know him as Inflation. You guys might know him as Conjecture. I'm not sure how you know him. We know him as Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. BRAP. BRAP, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well, Mooch. It's great to be back here on Crossfire. Last week was a lot of fun, by the way. It was great seeing you stream Call to the Lamb.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and I admittedly still haven't played it, and I need to, but fucking slow-mo backslap. I just want to curse his name right now. Introduce me to Fortnite, the no build mode.
That is a problem.
I can't. No, I've spent like over $100 already in that fucking game. I'm angry. But
what's going on?
That's part of being a consumer.
Oh,
you spend money at what you see value in. That's yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. So great to be back on Crossfire, man.
Well, it's great to have you here. Shout out to Kubini Gaming. The Xbox called and asked, "Where's the cross and Crossfire? Nice pony panel." Just kidding, of course. Shout out to Kubini. Well, it's funny because I put the Mooch symbol out there, and whoever takes the symbol, that's who's on the show. I can't bring him on the show. I can only ask him to come on the show. But no, thank you, Kubini. I appreciate that, guys. The super chat's working. It's a miracle. Let's get into our special guest here. This is actually going to be great. This is going to be great. I'm so excited to have him here. This is an individual that I have known for a very long time. We went back and forth for years and years on Twitter. Then we went through, we're going to call this the Block Unblock Podcast. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. I'm very excited to have him on here because I want to hear his takes. Been watching his podcast, watching his takes on Twitter. The great Porter Rock 77, P-Rock from 60 Frames No Lag Podcast. P-Rock, it's long overdue. It is way long overdue, and I take full responsibility for that. But welcome to Crossfire once and for all. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing outstanding. Thank you so much for the invite. But let's be honest. We know the real reason why you never invited me here.
Why is that?
It's because the Mets finally have a winning record. and you did not want to hear no Mets slander at any point on this show.
It's so
now
true.
all of a sudden, Mets are playing great.
Right.
They're a possible World Series contender.
Right.
Hey, Porter, you can come on. And they're like, what?
Porter Rock,
that's the explanation.
they're so good. What are you talking about? What's the problem?
They're doing great. But if you would have invited me last year, I would have talked shit. I'd be like, yo, your team is trash. Yankees is the real New York team. Let's get it straight. But now that the Mets is on the high life, oh yeah, now we got Porter Rock.
Now I get Porter Rock out here. No,
That's
P-Rock,
great,
it's
man.
great to have you, man. Honestly, this is just going to be an honor to have you here. We're going to be discussing a lot of hot topics. And you know what? The one thing that I really enjoy about your takes on your show and your hot takes on Twitter is that you're not afraid to speak your mind. And then that's really what we're here to do here. I really do like to have, and I think we're going to have a bit of a difference of opinion tonight. I don't think everyone's on the same page. I can tell you right now, P-Rock, our next special guest that I'm going to introduce, the great BitCloud Gaming, by the way. You guys might know him, okay? You guys might have heard from him. An IGN affiliate, okay? We are very blessed to have this man on the show. Bit, as much as we agree, every once in a while you throw a curveball at me, Bit. I'm thinking you're going to do it tonight. Bit, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Good to have you, man. I appreciate you being here. To be honest with you, it's going to be, hopefully I keep this show to 2 hours. I can't make any promises, but you'll know once the panel members just start leaving. If they start leaving, you know that we've expired the time. But Ben, I appreciate you being here. Speaking of having to cut deals, okay? One of my actual paisans, a great guy. Honest to God, you guys got to go over and check him out on Solidcast. The great Blaze 4Ks with his Blaze. Let me tell you something, dude. Really glad that I got a chance to meet you, hang out. We're going to be podcasting not only tonight, but again real soon in the future. I'll wait for you to announce it. But to be honest with you, great to have you here as well. Because the one thing about this panel, this really should be called the no bullshit panel, okay? This panel doesn't take any shit. And they're going to tell you exactly what they're thinking, face value.
I wouldn't say that with Blaze 4K. But
well, let me say it. Blaze, welcome to the show, buddy. You go ahead and answer, Pip back.
Yeah, Big Cloud, you got to get it shit. Big Cloud, do your thing. Hey, Big Cloud, you want another? Can you give Big Cloud another introduction? Give him.
I didn't say
Give him one more intro.
Give him one more, man. Hit him one more time. Listen, I appreciate the invite. You know what I mean? Everybody on here, I fuck with. So, it'll be a good show. And, you already know, Paisan, baby.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Italian straight through and through.
We gotta get that.
So, you know what I'd like to do here? We are going to have another special guest joining us. Actually, two more. JVB will be here at some point, and also the great Eric Jackson will be joining us, hopefully the second hour. Two great Mooch Maniac family members. FAKEManBearPig, he says, go Braves. We're creeping up on you. You guys haven't been creeping. You guys have literally dominated the NL East for the past 20 years. Take a year off, FAKEManBearPig. All right? Give us 1 year. Shout out to the great Strictly Gaming as well. He says, amazing panel. Shout out to the fellas and the dope chat. Happy Friday, Strictly. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. I see all you guys out there. It really means a lot. What we like to do on Crossfire, too, is I like to put the guests on the hot seat first and foremost. This is going to be something where I'm really interested because I know where some of these guys sit, and I don't know where some of them are on this topic. Of course, P-Rock, I'm going to you first. We're going to talk about the PlayStation 5 price hike, okay, due to inflation. And I say inflation in air quotes because there's certain parties that don't buy into that. They just don't
Someone
buy
say
into
inflation?
It. Yeah, inflation. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called you by your name out loud, BRAP. But
Sorry, man.
That's okay. So let me ask you two questions here, P-Rock. First of all, what's your opinion on what you observed and what you read yesterday on the price hike? And number two, how will this price increase affect the console sales as we go into the holiday season?
All right. So to answer your first question, I'll just go straight to the SWAT whiz. I think this is bad optics on the PlayStation side.
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand the conversation of inflation and price being more expensive. The problem with that is how come the other competitors, Nintendo and Microsoft, are not also responding in kind? Now, it's not too late, right?
Right.
But they didn't raise the price on their products, and I'm sure they're going through the same situation, right? What is interesting for me is they didn't raise the price in the US. And of course, there's probably math and stuff like that. But to me, the main reason, this is just an opinion, is that I see Xbox has been more competitive in the US as compared to the globe. And Sony's taking their chances on pretty much viewing Xbox not as competitive outside of the US as compared to the US. So they're not willing to risk a price increase in an area where Xbox is very competitive. And for many Americans, Xbox is a great alternate choice over PlayStation. Where we already seen that scenario where many American gamers will gladly move on from PlayStation to Xbox because they could get a similar experience. It just takes something like a nudge, like gravity. All you need is a little push, right? I don't think Sony, it's like Joker said, insanity is like gravity. All you need is a little push, just a little bit, and the rest will take care of itself. And I think Sony in the US, they don't want to test that water because Xbox is very competent. But around the globe, I think they're more confident that they could get away with this. You already seen analysts saying that this is most likely not going to impact sales. It's still going to sell.
Yeah.
People are still going to buy it. I know from personal experience, when I was living in Germany for 2 years, there's talk, right? There's Americans talking about how the globe don't really care about Xbox, but when you actually see it, it's actually kind of eye-opening, right?
Mhm.
So when I lived in Germany, I can't remember the name of the place, but their version of Best Buy, they really didn't have Xbox consoles in their stores. Like it was like shocking how little the German community, like majority, didn't really care for Xbox, right? Let me tell you a little quick story. Let me give you just one sample. And I know it's just one story, one person out of millions, right? But this was just so funny. So in March 2020, when I was moving back to the States, the government contracted local German movers, to come to my apartment and box up the stuff, inventory it. So when we got to electronics, when it comes to expensive electronics, because it's, the contractor has to follow military policy, they have to capture serial numbers for high value stuff. So he grabs my PlayStation, gets the serial number, writes it down, puts it in the box. He grabs my PSVR. Apparently he knew where the serial number was at, writes it down, shows it to me, puts it in the box. He grabs my Xbox One Halo. I have the Xbox One Halo 1 terabyte edition. He grabs it, he starts looking at it, and then he looks at me and he's like, "What's this? Is this like a movie player?" And I'm like, "That's a Xbox One Halo edition." He's like, "Wow, I never seen one. So this is what an Xbox looks like." All right. And then the serial number, I'm like, "It's right there." He writes it down. And I'm like, "Man, this guy knew the serial number of the PSVR, but he never seen a damn Xbox?" Like, wow. Don't give a shit about this brand. And I'm like, it's just weird that it's really that stagnant. So I think Sony's taking advantage of that. Whereas what you can do, you're gonna buy an Xbox and not buy a more expensive PlayStation. For me personally, obviously I already have the PS5, I already bought it. We live in America, so this doesn't directly impact. But I would say consider this. Let's say if this doesn't do anything, people still buy PlayStation, doesn't even a blip in the radar. The most it does is just Twitter conversations between, console war or, media influencers and stuff like that. If this does nothing, will Sony risk in thinking, you know what? We were going to launch, let's say, the PSVR2 at 500. Let's try 600 and see how that goes. Or, hey, that Edge controller, and I know we might talk about that later, but will they test the waters and be like, because we don't know how much these things cost.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't say if they launch it at $600, oh, they overpriced it. We can't say that.
Okay, so wait, so P-Rock, but what you're saying, and I see a lot of people on Twitter going back and forth, and I have the article up there from Ampere Analysis. You guys can read it. I'll read it out in a second. But like my point being is that is this you saying if we don't fight back, okay, if we don't retaliate, the sky's the limit. The price could keep going up. I don't mean as far as the PS5, but they may see that we will continue to pay, whether it's the Edge DualShock or DualSense or the PSVR2. Like the sky's the limit. I mean, where is it that's where the concern comes in? Go ahead, Bet.
Mooch, PlayStation fans pay more for games and accessories than anybody. You give them an inch, they'll go a mile. It's that simple.
I disagree. I think Xbox guys pay for more.
That's not really fair.
Not like for our controllers are $70, and we start getting drifting issues.
Yeah, but you're right about that. But how many colors does Xbox got? You know what I mean? So yeah, we got 5 controllers.
I guess what I'm trying. Like, I understand what Bit's saying, but like, I guess Bit like. Is that like based on data, like in terms?
No, I'm talking about based on just the pricing of these controllers, our shit, like overall pricing. I'm not talking about like in bulk. I'm talking about overall pricing. So we pay $70.
But I get that, but this goes back to again, yes, we're paying more, but you're also getting more out of that controller per se than what the competition's offering. There's tangible differences in the controllers, right, between the PlayStation 4 DualSense and
you are. But that's not all sunshine and rainbows if we're still having the same common problems.
Well,
they did. I understand that, but I mean, what's the fill rate in those products then? Is it above, what's acceptable industry standards? Like what's
see that right there? I don't know. I didn't look into that shit. That's it. Like, that's
and look again. I'm not trying to dismiss whatever issues you've had with drifting, but what I'm saying is again, like it's like, is the problem like, is it 50% of the install base?
Brap,
Like,
I would say a
what-
lot of people I know have drifting
You
issues.
have-
A lot
you
of
have
people,
people
like
issues.
just in the
I-
chat, I'm seeing like 5 people, like strictly
Yeah,
me, BitCloud. We all had it, but
Yeah.
I think the newer colors they've tried to fix that when they dropped the Galaxy versions, like those three different colors. I think
Okay.
they tried to
And
fix the
that's-
issue.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Again, Blaze, I'm not dismissing people have issues. What I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
like,
no.
I'm trying to get an idea of what the actual, because I have a launched PlayStation 5. I've never had any drifting issues with my controllers. I know some people have said that there's been drifting issues, and there's maybe strictly pointed out a SKU number you should get for your controller or something. But I was just wondering. Again, I'm not being dismissive of that. I'm just, is it a problem where it's affecting a majority of the install base, or is this a problem that's what you would anticipate with a failure rate you would anticipate with just hardware in general is my question. So
I anticipate that failure to come, but not so soon. You know what I mean? Like I have a bunch of controls and I circulate between them, but it's not a. Listen, I don't think it's an issue where I would go on Twitter and cry about it or make a big deal out of it.
Okay,
I'm just saying
that's fair,
they're
that's
there.
fair.
But the Elite controller, the series, the Elite 2, I've gone through 3. I've bought 3 of these.
I went
okay,
through,
and I have
my first
and
one.
the same
Blaze,
problem,
also had
Mooch.
stick drift. That same thing. Yeah.
Mine's not the stick drift. Mine's the RB
Yep,
on both
sticking.
controllers stopped working.
That was my first
Sticking, and
Elite
then
one.
the LB, and now my LB on my third one's starting to go, and this is $180. So when people, but Moose, when people ask how much is this Edge controller going to be, if Sony got balls, and they do, they would keep it fairly based to the Elite 2, around 180 and anything lower than that.
I'm not. Listen, I got to be honest.
Yeah,
Anybody
that's
that doesn't think they're paying $200 for that Elite Edge,
Yeah,
you're out of your
I
mind.
really do think too that
But
it's
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We kind of drifted away
Getting,
from Big Cloud's point, because his point it wasn't so much about the drifting. His point was
Right, that's true.
We'll spend
yeah,
more
we're
on
paying
controller.
more. Yeah,
But listen, the actual data, if you look at MPD up until June, I haven't seen the most current one, but June, the Elite controller was the best selling accessory, which means more people were buying the Elite 2 controller versus the DualSense.
I get.
So the reality is both communities are willing to spend money on controllers. So I don't think there is a difference between PlayStation. If the opportunity is there to buy $200 controller, both communities will do it. If you look at some of the top selling games on Xbox, they were $70 games. Call of Duty's a $70 games. Madden's a $70 game. 2K's a $70 game. So Xbox gamers have no issues paying $70 games either. MLB The Show, even though it's on Game Pass, there's Xbox gamers that still bought it, even though they could play on Game Pass. So I don't think there's a gamer out there. I know we try to do it. This is the thing. When we counsel war, it really detracts from actual real conversations to have.
Yeah.
Gamers
You don't say Rock.
Yeah, gamers in general have no issues buying what they want.
Hey, Puerto Rock, real quick.
Let me do this real quick, Brap, but I don't want to take the mic from you. I just want to introduce the great JVB. JVB's here. And JVB, if you don't mind, I want to get his take on this. Another JVB, another great guy on Twitter. Makes me absolutely laugh out loud every single time I see him do a tweet. JVB, great to have you on the show, buddy. And I hate to just throw you right into the crossfire, but I want to hear Brap's rebuttal, but I want to hear your take. What's your whole take when you read this PlayStation 5 getting a price hike and what maybe the outcome may be? That's kind of what we're discussing right now as we go into the holiday season.
Well, first of all, can you guys hear me?
Yep, you sound pretty good. It may be coming in a bit choppy. I'm not sure.
Oh, shit. Well, hopefully that goes away. Thank you for the invite, number one. And what's up, everybody? So when it comes to the price hike in these countries, as someone who has little bit of knowledge of because I own some of the shares, so I got news of this a little earlier, I totally understood. So as someone who can see both sides, I personally didn't have an issue with it. My issue was with the whole narrative that people that are poor are going to suffer because of this. The fact is, with the yen going down and currencies changing and all that, Sony had to make a choice. And because their product is, and I don't want to bring any fanboy rhetoric, they have the most, have the hot item right now. So,
right,
if anything, and look, people aren't buying these out of the store. You still can't find one. So, by that time, I know it might sound a little douchey, but you save a few extra bucks, and you can still, when they are readily available, you can still purchase a PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean,
so I don't know if you guys are talking about like if Other things are going to go up in price. I mean, everything else is going up. Bread, milk, electronics is definitely the first to always increase in price. Our beloved iPhones are going up $100.
Right.
The same reasons as Sony and Xbox. They have a shortage in the same. They're using TSMC. And TSMC, who is the largest manufacturer in semiconductors, are charging them a 9% increase. So there's always a trickling effect. There's more than meets the eye when it comes to the general
JB, I'm sorry.
consensus.
What was the increase you mentioned for TMC? What was that again? I didn't hear that.
9%.
Okay, because I've heard that also outside of TMC that just overall in general for businesses that are going to China for manufacturing their products. That has increased 30%. But go ahead, Max.
Yes.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
you're right.
You make a good point, JVB. While I actually reinstate your point, you are coming through with a bit of static. You might either want to just reset your mic or just unplug it and plug it back in. It's just static. Okay. It's staticky. So it sounds like it's just a bad connection. It's got nothing to do with your Discord or we can't get you through. You're in here clear. It's just you're coming through staticky. But I want to bring something up. And BRAP, this is what you've been saying over and over and over again. Every consumer product, right? And Puerto Rock, I know that you've also been saying this. Every consumer product is going up. Okay, we already know gas. That's like beating a dead horse. But milk, groceries. I told BRAP we came home with 2 bags of groceries. 2 bags, $100. $100.
Yeah, I know, bro.
2
it's
bags,
crazy.
right? Blaze, nothing was in the bags. Okay, maybe a little bit of meat, some bread.
You get home.
Come on.
I'm gonna say this.
You get home and you got nothing in your fucking. Listen, we're talking about a $50 increase, generally speaking, across, right? That's what we're talking about. A $50 increase.
50's the high side on most
of
It's a 10% increase across.
I'm gonna say this. We're not comparing this with eggs. Ultimately, people are gonna compare PlayStation with its competitor, and if the competitors don't increase, people are gonna ask, like, "What's up?"
Exactly.
And listen,
and that's fair.
What would Willie? And this would be me. I would be in my bag with Microsoft. If I really want to make Sony look bad, I would announce this holiday season a temporary price decrease on my Xbox.
They're not going to do that though.
They're not doing that, P-Rock. No way.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I know. But if I, sometimes I know they're not going to do that, right? But sometimes stuff is going wrong, and you're like, man, we need a prayer. We need a Hail Mary. And right now, it's like you're on offense. It's 4th down. You're 4th and 33. You're like, man, we really need a Hail Mary. The play starts.
The Washington Commanders 4th and 30, by the way.
I'm going to use a Moochism. The play starts. And you see their safety, both of them, they just tripped. You're like, holy shit, the backfield is fucking open. Fuck this play. I'm throwing it. This is it. They're like Sony, think about it. Rarely Sony puts themselves in a position where another competitor can really take advantage of them. And
you're talking about getting it.
Microsoft, even right now, it only seems like, it's only a $50. Let's say it's only a $50. It's a $50 increase, right? But if Microsoft drops their price to $50, now you're talking $100 difference. That could be huge for Microsoft if they're willing to take it. Sure, it's a loss. It might be a huge revenue loss. But the overall win they can gain from having a conversation where people could be like, why is PS5 $100 more expensive than Xbox Series X?
That's only in a few countries.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, those are a few countries where Microsoft needs that Hail Mary. They need the Hail Mary.
And actually, they can have the Hail Mary, but their record is still 2-15.
Yeah,
so it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
But that's the thing. We're talking about the now. Microsoft doesn't care how bad the Xbox One gen is, or even how bad the OG Xbox was. That's irrelevant. They need this gen to be better. How they did in the past is irrelevant. It's what they do now and going forward. What decisions they make now to grow, right? And Sony opened the door to allow them to grow and have those situations. If Microsoft,
yeah, but P-Rock, you don't think first impressions mean anything?
What?
I don't think.
You don't think first impressions mean they fucked up in the past, so people are, just because they start doing good doesn't mean people are willing to give them a chance again. When
people gave PlayStation a chance, PS3 was fun.
I'm gonna say PS3 was in the worst case ever.
Okay, but that's coming
up. How did PS3 come back?
PlayStation said we're gonna work 2 jobs.
Right. That's true. But that's coming from 2 successful consoles, bro.
That guy was fired.
Yeah, I just want to like Blaze brings up a great point. Like 2 successful consoles, like Sony, right or wrong, has a lot of political capital. There's a lot of value associated with the PlayStation brand. that Microsoft, and I'm not saying this to console war, but what I'm saying is that when you compare like Nintendo, the Nintendo brand, when you compare the Sony brand, those brands have a lot of value that Microsoft hasn't necessarily had the luxury of having per se. Like Sony should have never, with the PS3, telling us to get 2 jobs and all the media backlash, they should never outsell the 360, and they did. For the reasons that Porter Rock mentioned earlier when he gave his Germany example. They are a global powerhouse. Microsoft is a powerhouse in the US. I won't dispute that or debate that, but they don't have that reach, the influence that Sony does in a global marketplace with the PlayStation, like the PlayStation brand has.
That's pop culture, bro. Like that's all I'm saying. The PS1 and the PS2 were super successful. Then Sony got super arrogant. They said, "Oh, generation don't start till we tell you it starts. Sell your kidney." But what I'm saying on Xbox is the Antonio Brown. That's what I mean. Like they're on a prove it deal. They're on a 1 year deal. Year to year.
Not Antonio Brown.
Bro, they're year to year, baby. They are year to year.
Hey, can I
get what you're saying, right? But the thing is, how do you go from you're not a good brand to, you know what, this brand is actually good? You got to make moves.
Yep.
And any opportunity, you can't walk 1,000 miles and say, without starting with the first few steps. You got to start somewhere. And any opportunity that could give you a positive edge, you got to take it. You know what I'm saying? Every little step, any little thing that says, you know what, we could put ourselves in a position where people could be like, wait a minute, why is PS5 $100 more expensive? I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but that is one extra step. You got to keep the left foot and the right foot one in front of the other. You got to keep marching forward. And any opportunity you can take to have people the conversation and look at you, you got to take it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think Sony opened that door for Microsoft to get one more step, especially in 2022 when things are pretty bad already.
Technically, the Xbox S is $100 cheaper if you want to talk about optics.
Yeah.
And do I sound better, by the way?
Yeah,
it's still crackling a bit, JVB, but it's definitely.
You can leave and come back.
Try
Discord.
I was gonna say try leaving the Discord and coming back, JVB. I'll bring you back in.
But here's the thing, like, and so I think this is what JVB just brought up is very important. Like, when you think about like demand and how consumers value products, Microsoft's been offering a cheaper alternative the entire generation. And if you look at the numbers, Sony's still outselling despite its own supply constraints.
Yeah.
Has still outsold the Xbox.
If I may take a second here, BRAP, the Ampere analysis, which you're a big fan of these. Well, go ahead, P-Rock.
To be fair, the Series S is marketed as it's the, give it to your kid.
Okay, but if we're hyper focused on pricing though, which I think is what I'm getting from this conversation here.
Yeah.
If we're going to hyper focus on pricing, we have kind of some examples of how pricing really hasn't impacted Sony the way we might think it would, right? With the Series S being a cheaper option into next generation, like that hasn't happened yet. Like the Series, the PlayStation is still outselling, and it does have a cheaper alternative with the PlayStation 5 digital. But even that is more expensive than the Series S console by $100. So
but the Series S don't have a punch. Like nobody when we talk about next gen consoles, no one brings up that Series S.
I understand that. But if we're making the argument that price is going to be detrimental to maybe the PlayStation, well, we have proof that it possibly isn't, because there's been a console on the market that's a quote unquote current gen that's $200 to $100 cheaper depending on what version PlayStation 5 you get.
But it's not on the same level. Like if you look at the Series S, right?
But it's marketed, Porter Rock, right? It's marketed like a next gen.
But it's marketed as entry.
It's like China. There's a difference between Mercedes-Benz and BMW competing against each other, and Mercedes-Benz and Toyota. Yeah, Toyota's cheaper, but if you're looking for a high-end car, you're not gonna say, "Well, buy a Toyota." But that's what the Series S is. Series S is a Toyota. We're talking about the Mercedes-Benz and the BMWs. So a Series X being $100 cheaper than the PS5, that's a totally different conversation.
That is a different conversation.
That's different.
I don't disagree with that.
Not Toyota and BMW. Like, obviously, your Toyota's cheaper.
I don't disagree with that.
Well, and it's funny because I think
I'm looking for Audi, BMW, Benz. Oh, buy a Toyota. What? No. I want a luxury car. Talk to me about a luxury car. Like Golden Corral is cheaper than Roof Chris. Yeah, of course.
Right.
But I'm not looking for Golden Corral. I want Roof Chris level stuff.
But even then, and I understand, like, you know, when you think about, like, you talk about $30 to $50 difference between, you know, the BMWs or versus Mercedes, right? Some people may value the Mercedes at $50 more than the BMW.
Oh yes, of course.
I don't think it's going to be like, I said this to Mooch before we went live, like, one, I don't really care about this announcement. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't understand a lot of the emotion that's being put into this when people are talking about, you know, there's, you know, families struggling to put food on the table. I don't get that. I think that's kind of a weird comparison. As it relates to inflation, I just want to bring up this point here. Puerto Rock, you were in the spaces. David Faulkner, big shout out to David Faulkner, kind of broke down the financial aspects of what's kind of happening behind the scenes, why Sony came to made the decision that they made. Like, and I think one thing that people forget is, like, publicly traded companies are by law legally binded to make more money basically than they did the year before. Basically make money for the shareholders. Like, they are legally binded by law to do that. Like, if they purposely tank a company and lose revenue, like, that's a problem. They are also legally binded to do what's in the best interest of the shareholders. Yeah. So yeah. Sony's a publicly traded company. JVB brought this point up. Inflation. We talk about the currency right now, and I'm going to bring up Microsoft real quick, because Microsoft is actually in a great position right now, because the value of the U.S. dollar compared to other foreign currencies,
it's huge right now.
It's huge. Yeah. Blaze, you're right. Like the euro is valued less than the dollar now. That hasn't happened in like 20 years.
Right.
Like the US dollar is fucking like bodying people. It's like if Blaze and Bot Cloud got into a wrestling ring, like Blaze is the US dollar.
Well, I thought I saw a statistic that said that the US dollar is higher than the euro for the first time in like 20 years.
Yeah, it is. Bro. It absolutely.
The euro was like $1.50 compared to, or some shit like that. When I went to Italy last time, like, it was crazy.
Right, it's really upside down. And I want to read
there. It was ridiculous.
There's a lot of people,
especially Jesus.
There's a lot of people that have some great super chats here. I want to get to the super chats. And BRAP, let me just read this real quick. I'm going to put this on the screen so everyone can see it. I had it up earlier. Shame on me. That was just a bit early. But Ampere Analysis estimates that Sony had sold, and this really got the console war started. Sony had sold 21 million PS5s worldwide compared to Microsoft's at 13.8 million. Harding Roll said that he does not expect this to put off gamers wanting to buy a PlayStation 5, given demand remains high. And this is his quote. While we believe there will be disappointment for some customers that have been trying to buy a PS5 without success, or that were saving to buy the console just in time for the price to increase. The high pent-up demand for Sony's devices means that the price increase of around 10% across most markets will have minimal impact on sales on the console. Another quote here, he says, we expect Sony's sales forecast for the PS5 to remain unchanged. So, again, a lot of what BRAP was just saying, where he said, yes, this may be a great debate for podcasts and Twitter. Overall, the 30 pounds, if you will, or if you're talking about $50 in certain other regions, may not be enough to actually deter a customer, especially as we go into the holidays. And I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Blaze, I'm going to go to you on this one.
Good, because I wanted to say something. Good.
Because I'm going to you on
let me finish my...
I'm sorry. I did cut you off, BRAP, but I got to get I'm trying to get everybody in here, and I get super chats, but I wanted to say this much. The one thing is, whether Microsoft wanted to put their increase in place or not, they don't have anything coming out this fall. It would be an utter massacre if Microsoft went up $30 or $50 as well. You have PlayStation's got The Last of Us Part 1 remake. You've got God of War and the marketing rights to Modern Warfare 2, which, by the way, after the absolute disaster of Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2 is going to bring COD back to life in ways we haven't seen in probably 10 years. Yeah. So, Sony's going to advertise this. Right, they're going to advertise the shit out of this, though. So
and look, don't forget we had Gran Turismo and Horizon too. But what I'm saying is, listen, I think BRAP makes a great point. Like, outside of Xbox University and Twitter Spaces, this conversation will be forgot about in about a month.
Yeah,
like really, like I'm giving everybody a chance to run their podcast and talk about this shit.
Yeah.
But in reality, like when I talk to my boys or my cousins, like they don't give a fuck. They don't know nothing about this and they don't care. And some of them live overseas, but I don't think it's enough to persuade anything. I don't think it's. I mean, people in Brazil are paying $1,000 for just on tax to get a PS5 in the door. You know what I mean? I just don't. Listen, I don't think it's enough. I think Sony, like you said, they are arrogant. They are sitting there with their feet up. To me, it's the whole messaging. It's 3 a.m. for all of us. I know it's 9 o'clock in the UK, and the tweet comes out, or 8 o'clock, whenever it was, and they just put it out on this bulletin board that looks like somebody made it in Photoshop. It's just how they go about. There's no transparency with PlayStation. That's my issue with it. But it is what it is, bro. They're a company. They got to eat. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Hey, Mooch, real quick. I just want to go back to
Adam. You need an Adam Orth moment where they like hashtag deal with it type of shit.
Oh shit!
Really like
oh man,
to kill the sales,
but
yeah.
Now I'm going to go back to what I was saying about Microsoft. Like Microsoft is not going to increase the price of the Series X or Series S because Microsoft is actually in a great position right now. U.S. based company backed by the U.S. dollar, which like Blaze and Mooch, you were saying like is killing the euro. Is killing every other currency right now, and so they could actually manufacture Series X, Series S consoles cheaper in China than Sony can. The yen right now, if you look at the yen versus the I think it's the Chinese yuan.
That's the problem. The yen. Facts.
Yeah, the yen. The yen has lost a third of its value to Chinese currency, and if Sony tries to buy. And Sony's backed by the Japanese yen. If Sony tries to buy using the US dollar, the exchange rate doesn't favor the yen. So Sony is, when you think about what JVB said, there's the cost of manufacturing in China has gone up because inflation now. And China is on lockdowns with COVID. That's impacted the amount of people that can go to work, right? That's impacted supply chain. We heard about what do we hear like in COVID-19 in China? Supply chain, right? The
Microsoft going through the same thing as well as Nintendo.
Well, they are, but here's the thing with Microsoft: the value of the dollar means that they can buy those things cheaper than Nintendo and Sony can. And Nintendo is in a different boat because Nintendo, their hardware is cheaper anyway because it's older tech. Yeah. So Microsoft is in a great position right now because the value of the dollar is literally body slamming people. And so what's happening with Sony right now is that they have a yen that's lost a third of its value to the Chinese currency. They have to deal with increased manufacturing costs to do business in China. Plus, because of supply and demand, we know about scarcity of chips and parts to make these consoles. When that happens, when there's a scarcity like that, what happens? The price of those things go up, right? When the amount of demand outstrips the amount of supply, that's why you see pricing going up. I mean, we saw this in the pandemic. I mean, Mooch, you and I joked about the price of toilet paper.
It's crazy.
I mean, supply and demand. I mean, it was fucking nuts.
Well, I see people laughing at my point. They're laughing at yours. They're saying, well, Mooch, $50 doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying $50 doesn't mean anything. But if you are a parent right now in the chat and your child asks for a PS5, will that $30 to $50 increase change your mind?
Mooch, I gave a scalper $750 so my son could have a PS5 for his birthday. If you want it, you're gonna buy it. Period. That's it.
Blaze, that's
With the strength of you're saying Microsoft in a great position because they're in a stronger position because they're backed by the US dollar. Wouldn't that mean they have the ability to consider a price drop, even if it's temporary? Because Microsoft done that before. They've done a huge temporary price drop for the holidays and then raised the price back to this normal.
Hey, Puerto Rock, they could, but imagine the response from their shareholders. Their shareholders be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
I mean, aren't they burning money through anyway with this Game Pass?
I mean, they are, and there's some shareholders that are happy about the. So here's the thing with Microsoft.
No company just wants to lose money, though. I mean,
no company does, and actually,
especially Microsoft,
especially Microsoft. But here's the thing, like people don't realize, like, and so these companies, right? They kind of have to anticipate how economies are going to perform in the future. So they have to pivot. They have to make moves. And a lot of what Sony's doing right now is pivoting because they are trying to figure out, okay, if we pivot now, how much is that going to mitigate loss for us potentially in the future? We don't know because the markets are volatile right now in terms of exchange rates. We don't know how inflation is going to impact the rest of Japan, Europe. You think about this, like the U.S. is actually doing better. Like in the UK, the inflation rate is double the U.S. And I'm not sure what it is in the European Union, the rest of the European countries, but I was actually shocked to see the UK. It's like 18%. In the United States, it's 9%, and 9% is like a 40-year high, I think, for the U.S. I think you'd have to go back to the 70s. On average, you want to see inflation between 2% and 4%. On average, that's kind of, at least in the U.S., that's what they want to see. That's what the Fed wants to see. It's at like 8.5% right now. It's like double. So it's double that in the UK. These foreign exchange rates are impacted. And so these are real like economic impacts that are motivating the decisions that a lot of these companies are making. Like the companies, again, I go back to what I said earlier about having to do what's right for the shareholders. And that goes back to generating revenue, not incurring losses if you don't have to. And that's what they're trying to do. This is a move by Sony to position themselves to figure out, okay, if we don't know where the economies are going to go, we don't know how if inflation is going to flatten or decrease. So we got to figure out how to, increase pricing where we can still meet our financial targets to our shareholders. And that's what this move is. And I'm not saying you have to agree with it. As a consumer, I don't like price increases, but let's keep it real. Emotion doesn't dictate consumer behavior in the marketplace. How many of us have bitched and complained about buying something that was more money and we bought it anyway? It
happens
all
time
the time.
and time again.
Happens.
And so I agree with that. But here's the thing. So, and I'm not disagreeing, but I want to say back to Microsoft price agreement. Right now, we know the number one goal, the number one focus for Xbox is Game Pass growth, right?
Yes.
And tied to that Game Pass growth is the obviously sales pitch of day one first-party game. All the day one first-party games are next-gen only titles. They are not Xbox One or Xbox One X or whatever. The old systems, they're not part of that growth. So if you expect Game Pass to grow using these titles, then the people who are going to help you grow this are the ones who get Xbox Series X, Series S. You understand? So, sure, I understand. Oh, we're not going to drop the price to take advantage to try to sell more consoles because we're worrying about revenue loss. But at the same time, if you're trying to grow Game Pass as fast as possible, you got to give a little to get a little, because the future growth of Game Pass.
I agree with that.
The growth of Game Pass, let's be honest, it's not really the phones. It's not even really PC. The main growth of Game Pass is tied to the next generation console. So it's only going to grow as fast as people buying these next generation consoles, especially if you're saying, "Hey, get Starfield, Redfield."
I don't
play that on my Xbox.
Hold on, go ahead, JB.
I don't agree with that 100%, but yeah.
Go ahead, JBB.
Number one, do I sound better?
No, actually, believe it or not, the other mic was a little better. I hate to be I know I'm like the bearer of bad news all life, JBB.
No, but Mooch,
Mooch, move him. Disconnect him. Just let him disconnect him and have him come back in. Sometimes Discord does that.
Well, he dropped out.
Did he? All right.
In. Yeah, no, we tried that already.
Try
the other. Just
quick,
unplug this one. Try the other mic. Go ahead, and then I want to get JBB. He's on his Mac.
Yeah, real quick. And Mooch, by the way, you have the new dating site in your live chat. But
thank you. That's guys. Please go. No, don't go check it out.
Man.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. My apologies.
No, I just. But Mooch. But But I do encourage anyone that's kind of interested in understanding the why behind this to do a quick Google search and just Google how inflation impacts consumers, how it impacts companies. Because a lot of the stuff that I was seeing on Twitter was like, oh my God, this is unprecedented. This has never happened. I'm like, no, it happens. Like Microsoft has increased pricing for the Series X in India because of exchange rates. Sony did this in Canada with the PlayStation 4 in 2014. But this also happens in other industries where companies will adjust pricing because of economic factors, inflation, exchange rates, things like that. And at the end of the day, this is part of the free market. This is a dynamic of the free market. And as consumers, we still have a choice. You either buy or you don't buy. And I guess what I don't agree with is the standing on your ladder and yelling at PlayStation and screaming when you probably don't do this with other companies like McDonald's, like BMW, like Mercedes. I mean, I just bought a car, Mooch. You know this because I always talk about it. But
Brap, I got a number 3 when I was traveling to Buffalo to go see some family. I'm not even joking with you guys. I stopped at the McDonald's on the.
How much was that number 3, Mooch?
It was $8.75. That used to be like $4, and I think before that it used to be like 3 something. Like,
does it taste different?
No, it tasted worse. My point being,
I'm gonna say I don't think that's a fair comparison because we have a passion for gaming, and this is not the McDonald's podcast.
Hey, Puerto Rock, I got a passion for McDonald's, man.
We don't talk week after week about fast food, so I don't have a passion for.
No, but Puerto Rock,
eggs and milk. I don't have a passion for it. I don't know the name of the farm that make the milk I buy. But I know,
but the same logic applies though. It's consumer behavior though. That's what Mooch is talking about.
But it's passion. Passion is part of it. Like I cannot tell you the name of the company that makes the milk I buy. I don't know who they are. I don't know who the boss is, but I know who Kojima is, and I know all the content when he made games. I can recite the games when he made them. I read interviews. Yeah. I have not read one interview.
P-Rock. I
don't know who the hell makes things best.
But us both being New York fans of baseball, right? A nosebleed seat back in the day, Shea Stadium, you used to be able to get those seats if you want, and you got there, scalpers outside or not. $15, you get a nosebleed seat back in the day, okay?
Oh, that I agree.
A nosebleed seat now is $65, and we all know Steve Cohen owns the Mets.
That I agree.
So what's going on?
Agree. So no, I did agree, and I did like for recent. I'm about to next week. I'm gonna watch the Yankees versus Angels.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, you know what? Let me get an Aaron Judge jersey. That thing is $500.
$500, dude. Yeah,
what?
It is.
$500 for a jersey.
It's official. It's an official jersey. I would hold.
I
Here's the thing. I got a Derek Jeter 2009 World Series, and that was $200. And I did complain, but that's my
I got a question for you. If you put that official jersey off of $500, are you going to hit home runs like Aaron Judge? Because you better be fucking hitting home runs like Aaron Judge.
The team. He's just supporting the team.
Yeah.
I got a question.
But listen, that's my passion, and I did complain. I just didn't complain on Twitter, but I was flipping out to my wife. I'm like, get the hell out of here. But that's my passion.
That's ridiculous.
That's a passion. So I think people who are passionate with certain products, they will complain on the price, while everything else is just like whatever. It's just eggs.
So I want to let the audience know, guys. I have all the super chats here. I'm gonna answer each. We're all gonna answer your super chats before we move to the next topic.
Let me just jump into this real quick
because I know Brad. I got a question for you too, Bit. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, because Brad went on about inflation again. Puerto Rock, Blaze, me, Mooch. Nobody's arguing that prices go up due to inflation. All right, nobody's pissed off about that. That's normal. That's common in this particular situation. It's very common. Mm-hmm. The issue is, first of all, this price increase, we didn't even need to have it. Like Sony could have took a loss on this, a small loss on this, and made their money back tenfold through recurring revenue by itself.
That's not
PlayStation
true.
Plus. Yes, they could.
No, they couldn't.
PlayStation Plus Premium.
Okay.
Okay, let me finish. On top of that, hold on.
Let me finish, Brad.
On top of that, you got the games that are selling. Every game is selling what, 10 million minimal, so to speak, from the first party. With like most of their first party selling like past 10 million at $70. That by itself, I mean, come on. They did not need to do this whatsoever. I get it; it's understandable, but at the same time, everybody else is not taking. Like, they're not putting the price hike on anybody, and it looks better on them versus PlayStation. Everybody else was like, yeah, we're going to sit back. We're not going to say it. Sony's like the first one out here. And we're not even counting accessories. We're not counting the new monitors, not talking about their controllers. And we're about to pay for a new Elite controller. It's like, that's what people are pissed off about. That's
a bit.
I don't think it matters.
I understand your point, but I just explained why no one else is doing it. With Microsoft and Nintendo. Also, you don't know what the profit ratios are for the games or the other devices. You don't know if they're selling them at a profit or
if they're digital,
if the ratios are healthy.
Digital sales are the highest on PlayStation.
Okay, I understand that, but you do understand there's other costs, infrastructure costs associated with digital, and you don't know what those ratios are. So if I'm spending
super high, they broke records. They shatter each record. They keep bringing that up.
But that's not ratios though. If I'm spending $8 to make,
they shatter other. They keep shattering sales records. PS5, beating PS4 records.
There's a difference between shattering
Making more
profits. There's a difference between shattering profits versus how much money did you have to spend to get to those profits? If BRAP was a company, right? And the last quarter I made, I don't know, $10, but I had to spend $9 to make $11. That's not a great ratio. Like I'm spending more to make more. That's not good. That's not how companies operate.
Well, the other thing that someone brought up too is talking about the devs,
let me provide some
right?
information because this is a great conversation. So
wait, real quick. The other thing I was going to say too is and I was talking to David Faulkner about this. And by the way, anyone interested in the analysis part of this argument or this conversation should follow David Faulkner on Twitter. He mentioned this in a Spaces you were in Puerto Rico, and I think someone asked him like, well, why can't, because he said, because I think it was I'm not going to mention his name, who thinks he went to university, but he went to preschool. He may say, well, Sony should eat this record profits, and he's like, no, he's like, they probably would have lost about $2 billion a quarter not doing this. And again, this goes back to how companies operate. They're not in the business of losing money. If they can mitigate loss, they're going to do it. So I don't agree with that argument that, oh, well, they can eat the loss because they're making record profits. Again, that doesn't take into account to what their profit to ratio margins are. It also doesn't take into account the fact that, yeah, do they really want to lose $2 billion a quarter and then have that conversation with the shareholders? And we go back to the fact that companies, publicly traded companies, have a legal or fiduciary responsibility to make money for their shareholders and to do what's right or the best interest of their shareholders. Like, think about the impact of the stock. I'm not saying this to defend their decision. I'm just saying these are the economic realities and things that companies think about as they make these decisions.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, P-Rock.
So I want to bring in just so that way, because this brings context to what Big Cloud's saying and what you're saying. So Breakout is divided into 6 segments. Their number one revenue, that's 32% of their revenue, is add-on content. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 2 is actually console hardware. So that's their number 2. It's actually making more money than game sales, digital and physical combined. So technically, their console, this is like the second highest revenue that they're getting from right now. So I can see what BRAP is. I can see what Big Cloud is saying about their overall profit, but I see what BRAP is saying because technically their console hardware revenue is their number 2 revenue generating in terms of the PlayStation division or whatever. Number 1 is add-on, number 2 is console, number 3 is digital, number 4 is actually network services like PS Plus, PS Now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
and they just combined that with the right where
but right now, if we were to break down the top 3, so the top 3 items that make them money, number 1 is add-on content, number 2 is console hardware, and then number 3 is actually peripherals. Those are the top 3 revenues.
But Puerto Rico, you have to understand, like
a lot of bootlickers in the chat.
This is also to offset the manufacturing cost of hardware. I mean, that's what this is about.
But what I'm saying, I can understand how if console hardware sales is your number 2 revenue generator, I can see why it's such an important decision factor. So I get it. I think what I'm saying is it is bad optics because
no, I'm not.
We're not comparing it to milk or clothes. We're comparing it to Microsoft and Nintendo, and they haven't budged. So a lot of people.
No, they didn't. But Nintendo, like I said, Nintendo and Microsoft, different positions right now. I mean, Nintendo is buying hardware at a very cheaper price point in China than Sony is.
Nintendo's getting away with robbing.
And how many
Nintendo never takes
and Nintendo's
robbing
also,
people, bro.
Nintendo also has their profit to their profit ratios is very high because
probably through the roof.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is. And they also have a OLED iteration that was $50 more than the base, Nintendo Switch. So they already had that built-in cost, which is what Sony's basically doing right now.
Puerto Rock, let me ask you a question, Puerto Rock.
Coming out a year.
I want to ask Puerto Rock a question because this whole Series S gets marketed like a next-gen machine, but when you really the casual market don't understand that. They think, oh yeah, it's loading faster, and it is loading faster, and whatever. But really, when you get down to it and you get down to resolutions and frame rates, like, is it worth it? Like, when you could have just spent $100 more.
Blaze, I was saying this before the console came out.
It's almost robbery, bro. It's like almost robbery. I swear to God.
It's basically it's an Xbox One X, of course, with a faster processor. I understand it loads faster, things like that. But realistically, as we go into, guys, I said this before on the show, and panel, hear me out real quick. Once we get into next year, everyone's like, wait till next year, Xbox. You know, we heard that last year for this year, but nonetheless, Microsoft's games coming out that are going to be next gen only, or pardon me, current gen only games. Yeah. We're going to start to see this little engine that can't kind of putter through.
Facts.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, so far, I think, from all the people that got an Xbox Series S, I don't think anyone saw that as, oh, I'm really in next gen. I think most people see it as just a cheap entry to get into the.
And if you're okay with that,
but
listen,
but they're not looking at it as the premium system.
Yep.
You know, they're just not.
Yeah, but I know a lot of college guys, and they got. Yeah, but Puerto Rico, I know a lot of football players that in college, because I used to work at that college, and they're like, "Oh, I got a next gen console." I'm like, "What you got?" The Series. I said, "Bro, you got a fucking doorstop. What are you talking about? You got a next gen console, bro."
Listen,
you know, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but buy a Series X.
Protocol. You know, it's not their fault.
Hey,
that's
right.
Come on.
Hey, Puerto Rico, here's the thing, man. You just got to go PC, man. It's about time for you to convert.
Facts. Yo,
listen. Until they go, when they go,
we got your exclusives. You're about to par with pricing.
So let me ask JVB a question before I get to the super chats.
I'm there.
You ain't got a PC, Puerto Rico?
No, not yet, bro.
What?
Yes, sir. Listen,
he's good. He's good right now.
Puerto Rico's when Jack Moose set up. He's got a laptop.
Number one.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
He travels a lot. He travels a lot.
Yeah, I do
travel a lot.
That's number one. I do travel a lot, so I need a.
You got a Steam Deck, Puerto Rico?
I was not gonna pay $2,500 for a GPU just because the demand. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this out.
But you got a gaming laptop? You got a gaming laptop?
Not anymore. Time by over time, it went from gaming laptop to just a work laptop to now. Yeah.
Oh man!
Now the spreadsheets aren't working.
Yeah, now like OBS is like struggling. I'm like, oh boy.
Let me ask JVB a question here, and then I'm gonna open it up to the panel. And then we'll get to these super chats before we move on to the next topic. JVB, here's my thing: Sony's going up in price in the immediate future. How long does this price stay elevated before they drop back down to the original MSRP that we got at 2020? They've got to drop.
How do I sound? Number one.
It's still a little bit staticky, but go ahead.
Trash.
Well, we can hear you though. We can hear you. Yeah.
So I would assume that as the currency in these particular countries, specifically Japan, once it starts to regulate and increase, and there's not for them, because it's their home country, then I would see, and number one, availability as well. Then I would see the price potentially. I don't want to say potentially going back to where it was at launch.
So you think this might, if those circumstances don't come to fruition, you're saying this will be the new regular price?
Give it a year.
Okay, a year. You're putting a year on it. All right, now, Bit, let me ask you.
Because, remember remember our currency was shit not too long ago. So
right,
every other. Their currency was a lot stronger than the U.S. dollar, so anything could happen.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I thought that we would see. My thought is we'll see this for the immediate future, but I don't know if we would see this into too far into next year.
We would have to see a 2007, 2008 in the U.S. again, reset the U.S. dollar,
and
that's probably not going to happen.
We see it with housing. We see it with all types of. Necessary items, not just milk, bread, and stuff like that. We see it with everything: gasoline, housing, medical. So anything can happen with the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
I forgot to get you, Puerto Rico. I forgot to get you, Puerto Rico. Hold on, Puerto Rico. I need to get you on something. Hold on. You've been talking shit about the PS Vita for 10 years, saying Blaze, that little console died. And hold on. And hold on. Please let me get you, Puerto Rico. Please.
That shit is the Wii U of handheld.
Okay. Okay. Yo, you got it. Hold on. Let me say. Hold on.
This guy bought every shovelware that damn platform had. He's like, you got no games.
Yo, Puerto Rico.
You know,
Yo,
he's
yo,
like
yo,
Jumanji 2.
Hold on, yo, but all right. So, Portark, tell me this then: if it's the Wii U of gaming, right? Why, when you go live, you literally have a PS Vita game in your background? The biggest game you have, like your background is a PS Vita game. Why?
Oh,
I never forgot to ask you that.
I'm gonna tell you no, because there's a hole in the wall and I needed a coverage.
Come on, bro, get a different post. I'm like, yo, he over here repping the Vita. Okay.
Slap that sucker on, it does the job.
Oh, that's funny. I would have never thought it was because of a hole. Oh, shit.
I just made that up. I needed a quick answer to get.
I love it. I love it.
All right, I'll let you go.
So, Bit, real quick, I want to get the panel's take real quick. Then I want to get the super chats because some of these are questions, some are statements. Bit, what do you think? How long is this price hike here for? Is it indefinite or is it just temporary?
I could really. I don't think it's indefinite. It's more likely temporary. Give it 2 years. We'll see.
2 years.
Yeah, give it 2 years.
2 years. I thought we were talking 6 months.
2 years.
So-
yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. No, but real talk.
2 years.
More likely a year.
Okay, a year. All right, that's all right. Okay, I'll buy into that. I'll buy into that. Blaze, what about you? What's your time? I'm going to get to you, BRAP, too. I want to hear your take.
They better get it figured out because they got PSVR coming out. You know what I mean? Is that? Yeah. Is it going to be like? I'm curious to see what they.
What do you think? You know what? I'll just switch the topics real quick here. What do you think the PSVR is going to be? PSVR2.
How much it's going to be?
Well, I always was on the fence of 500. Some said 4.
No way. $400.
$399.
I think it's
400, 450 max.
It's
ahead, write it down.
It's 500 on the money.
You think
Bro,
it's going to be?
can't.
How can they charge the same as the console?
Yeah, it don't make sense. I'm telling you.
Hey, they got inflation.
Wait, hold up. Wasn't the
read
original-
BRAP's
hold up.
name.
Hold up.
Inflation.
Well,
There's
well,
inflation.
Right, yeah, wasn't the original PSVR 500?
No.
Yeah, but
No,
that was bundled with a bunch of shit though. You know what I mean? I had
but it costs
it had the camera, it had everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now the camera, like right now, the whole thing's built in. You got
Built into one, right?
Controllers.
Yeah.
The thing was literally 500 because they had leftover Move controllers that was
I
stuck
thought
around.
but you know what?
I thought
Yeah,
it was $400.
Yeah, they totally did.
Yeah, they had to get rid of those dildos.
Yeah, I thought it was 400 too, but the difference is
400.
Dildos?
no, but the difference is
They had to get rid of
Portark,
them
that
dildos.
PlayStation was taking a massive chance by releasing this console, so they priced it high just in case they were gonna, just in case that shit failed. At least they priced it high and recuperated some of that money. That's what I truly believe, bro.
Well, yeah, now they're gonna price it high because of inflation and 30% and
Maybe you're right. No, maybe you're right.
Inflation is the key word, Portark. It's gonna be 500.
Inflation,
Yeah, but y'all dudes been saying 500 before this whole inflation shit started. That's all I'm saying.
I said 4 for the longest.
Now
but
I said 300. I've been saying
hell no.
300.
No, it's $399, $450 max. Trust
The
me.
Meta Quest is not even 300 anymore.
Brad,
Yeah,
pass that
but
shit my
the
way.
Meta Quest launched at 300 and at 400.
Yeah,
The
now
Meta Quest.
Now it's 405. So
Yeah,
inflation. So now we got 6.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll
I don't
see.
know.
Man.
I don't know. We'll see.
I put a poll up in the chat, guys. Answer that poll. What do you think? It's gonna be over $400? Let's see what the audience thinks. Go ahead, though.
I think it's over that. Unless they do two things. But here's the thing: it won't make sense if they make a standalone model with no controllers for the original PSVR. That makes sense.
That'd be the dumbest shit ever, bro.
Listen. The PSVR, right? It made sense just to make a standalone headset because maybe you already have the Move controllers.
Right,
but for the people that don't have it, you have the bundle. Nobody has those new controllers, so you gotta make the controller standard with every VR. And I don't think those controllers they're gonna give it to us for free. Those controllers will be bundled with every VR.
But if the Quest can come out and be, bro, that Quest that PSVR stole a lot of shit from the Quest. Like it really did. Like and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. I'm not talking shit about PlayStation. It just the Quest is such a good machine, bro.
Yeah,
and they all the best parts.
I love the Quest. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And remember, they raised the price because I guess they were selling it out of loss, but now, from what I'm reading, they're not gonna do that no more. I think
Facebook when I first heard
they're not selling that thing at a loss.
I was like, wow.
I don't know. I think $400 right now, especially with Sony's press they're getting right now. They have to tread very carefully.
I don't know. Mooch.
I mean, I don't think you can. I mean, think about if you're in a certain country right now and the PS5 is $550, this thing's $500. You're walking out over $1,000.
I'm with you, Mooch. I'm with you.
I think it's got. I think you got to watch it here.
I mean, I think it's just, I mean, like there's VR headsets that are more money than that. I think if they came out at 500 and Oculus raised their price 100, maybe 500 is real, like a real thing. I mean, I don't.
We're gonna find out soon enough.
And there's inflation and the cost.
Well,
of
Brad, when you say that,
yeah.
when you say that, it makes sense because when that PS5, when the VR2 comes out for PlayStation, it's gonna be a better machine all around, spec wise, all that than the Quest. So,
yes, compared to the Oculus Quest.
So I can see what you mean by that. So the Quest is at 500. Why can't we sell 500 when our machine's better resolution, better all that? You know what I mean? So,
but I get the only thing I'm concerned is
OLED screen.
Does Sony want to like? Is Sony going to take a hit on this? Like, I don't know.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to take a hit. Not
for the VR.
I mean, like,
not for the.
Yeah.
Did y'all even have PSVR in this chat? Because like I love hearing people say.
I don't have it. I don't.
Right.
I had it.
You know what they say though?
I traded it in.
Fantastic.
But Mooch, they're like, oh, the PSVR 2's having an OLED screen. Yeah, so did the first one, you idiot. Pay attention. Like this. Like, all right, well, we'll see. You know,
a lot of people don't pay attention to that at all. I got a couple of super chats here because we are going over the PSVR 2. Shout out to the great Rob Jones. Rob Jones says stacked panel tonight. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thanks, Rob. FAKEManBearPig says guys. I know we're talking about PSVR 2 right now, but this is all pertaining back to the PlayStation 5 price hike. FAKEManBearPig says I do not agree on the hike, but it will not stop people buying PS5s. They've been overpaying on eBay from scalpers the entire generation already. I'm going to read through the statements, guys. If there's a question, I'll pose it to the panel. TrueWiddy says they rose Xbox price in India 6% earlier in the year. So the article that I saw, someone had sent that to me, and I sent it out. A lot of people took that and ran with it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, exchange rates. Yep.
The exchange rates, it did go up.
And higher taxes.
They have higher taxes? Yeah, higher tax rate.
Electronics, yeah, over there in India. Not idiot. They have high tax rates on all electronics.
You know what it is? Actually, you know what, JVB, now I think I know what it is. It's not your microphone. I think it's something with the PC when you said you were updating, because now your voice is coming through in slow motion. Yeah. So it's gotta be the PC. It's not the microphone.
You probably restart your PC.
Maybe restart the PC. And I know, I love Steve Jobs, but it's not been the same since he left. We miss you, Steve. Try rebooting the computer. We still got a lot of time on the show, JVB.
Okay.
You might want to switch to your phone app.
Or the phone. You could try the phone app. Discord sucks when
you
use the phone app.
You gotta go Android, man. You gotta go Android.
Oh, leave the man alone. Leave him alone.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't have issues with Android. Apple, different story. I'm just saying.
Wait, Brad. You telling me if you were to text my phone, I would see disgusting green trash bubbles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Blaze.
Hey,
Blaze,
what's wrong? Hey, you know what green stands for? Money and trees.
No. Green. No. Green stands for $20 bills. Blue stands for 100 in euros.
You know what? The U.S. dollar is $20 is worth 5,000 euro right now.
He just went global on you there. Shout out to Big 1101. He says people will adjust.
Inflation.
People will adjust just like how games $60 to $70. He's 100% right. Shout out to the great Donnell Brown. He says, hey, P-Rock, how about those Boston Red Sox? He goes, the Mets suck. Yankees suck. Say it with me. Dodgers #1. He's such an LA fan.
What?
He's such an LA fan. He's
I love the Red Sox, but I'm not bringing them up right now.
Let's not go there.
They hurt me way too much.
I'm a Sox fan too. I feel your pain, man.
They hurt me way too much, bro. I'm not talking about it.
Spend all that money.
Shout out to E. Kim. He says, if the economy's so bad, shouldn't Game Pass subs be up? All right, so that's an interesting point. That's the thing with Game Pass, and we're not going down that. I promise you guys, no Game Pass talk tonight.
Mooch,
right? 7 years,
down that rabbit hole.
We got 5-6 years, and we're still at 25 million. They're like, Mooch, they reported a higher number. Yeah, 25.1. All right, whatever. That's another conversation, different show. Shark Killer.
What's 1 point, Mooch? What's 1 point?
What's 1 point at this point?
What's 1 point?
I'm not impressed. Shark Killer says Sony increased PS5 price. Gamer going on rant. Later, Sony showcase date. Gamer, forget the price increase and super hype for showcase. So he's saying basically they gave us a high price. Now we're going to get a showcase. And when we get that showcase, no one's going to even mind the price hike. Shout out to Tactical Gamer. Says, I don't think this is going to make a difference. People have been and still are willing to pay $700 to $900 for PS5 bundles throughout the holidays. That's exactly what Blaze was saying. Donnell Brown, Here you go, Mooch. Take this $5 and go to the nudie bar and get a lap dance, a.k.a. like Al Bundy. Great show. Thanks, Donnell. I appreciate that.
And lap dances are actually more expensive now,
Yeah,
by
I don't
the
think you
way.
can get one for $5, Donnell. I don't know. And since I am being nice, take BRAP and buy him a drink. I'm not taking BRAP anywhere near that area. But I appreciate it.
What?
BRAP, I'll buy you a drink at a regular bar. How about that? Rusting Craigface, still one of the greatest names in YouTube history. If Sony drops the price $50 in the holidays, social media is going to say, well, they're back at the original price rather than what a great sale. I think the panel has basically discussed already that we're not expecting to see any kind of a price break after they're just announcing it, and it's going to take action in September. Grizzly Bear King says, let's not,
that'd
boy.
be the most counterproductive shit ever.
Right? It really would make all this ruckus for nothing. It would make no sense. Grizzly Bear King says, let's not be coy. This is only news for console wars talking points. Xbox diehards are not worried for PlayStation fans. They are happy there is negative PlayStation news. A lot of this is just a lot of banter. I think that was what Porter Rock and BRAP were saying early on. Grizzly Bear King, PlayStation. During the 2008-2009 financial crisis, both Wii and 360 went up in the UK due to depreciation of the pound. Don't recall the same outrage. Shout out to him for that. Brian Phantom, thank you so much for the subscription. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe button. We've got an amazing 370 people here. Hit that like button, please. Tactical Gamer, if I needed to make up money for my billion-dollar company, I'd raise the price of my best-selling, most popular items like an iPhone or high-end GPU. And the Great Crusader, who's he's getting ready. I thought you were at your friend's wedding. He says, considering the game industry rarely adjusts prices, I don't see the increased price dropping unless the PS5 costs around the... I don't understand. Unless the PS5 costs across the board, PSVR either at $400, maybe forced $500 bundle with games. So that's an interesting point for you guys. You know, P-Rock, I'll ask you. P-Rock, a lot of people were saying this, and I saw them all over on social media saying if they wanted to do this, okay, go ahead and jack it up $30-$50, but throw, instead of doing the bundles they have currently, throw like the old days when we were kids, throw Horizon Forbidden West, to throw GT7 in there, you know what I mean? Throw a game in there, because a digital code for them, I'm not gonna listen, they'd rather make the money on it, but it softens the blow. What do you think, P-Rock? Would that have done anything to counterbalance it?
I think that would have, for a lot of people. If you're throwing a game, it's like the old days, right? When you used to buy a console, there was always one game and a controller, two controllers. I think that could have softened the blow. An actual packing game, a digital code packed in with every console, that probably could have offset some stuff, especially like Gran Turismo 7, which is popular in Europe. That could have done something. Yeah, I think that could have worked. I think that could have provided a little bit. Not everybody bought those games. I think it could have softened the blow a little bit.
Do you think now, Bet, you were making a point earlier? Is that something, by doing what we were just talking about, me and P-Rock, is that something that would be counterproductive to them raising the price on the money they would lose by putting that game in there? Or you think that would have been something that maybe would have eased the pain as the consumers are reading this?
I don't know what I missed because I stepped away for a second.
Well, that's all right. No, I was just asking the question if you think maybe to soften the blow of this $30 to $50 raise, if they threw in a Horizon Forbidden West or they threw a GT7 code into the box.
Yeah, logically, I thought that was probably something they would do. You know what I mean? Like, you would remember how in the PS4 we get kind of like a greatest hits game with the console? Or you might see like those Walmart exclusive type of deals. Like they might have like UFC on the box with the game, something like that. They did a lot of that stuff with the PS4. So I'm,
Yo, Mooch, by the way,
yes,
they're saying, they're not increasing the price in the United States. They already been doing it. The only available PlayStation 5 you can buy is a Horizon bundle, which is more money than $500.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it
$550.
is.
So think about it. They already now granted, you're getting a free game and it's, but somebody said that, I thought that was real clever. I don't know who said that in my chat, but like that's the only bundle you can buy right now is for $550.
You can't just walk in the store right now, buy a PS5 and walk out.
Right.
So they are doing that. They're getting over the 500, and they're definitely making bank on that. The fact that they threw the game in there. Right. So I mean, that's the thing. They should have just made it $550, $530, and had all of them be with a bundled game in there, whether it be GT7, Ratchet and Clank. I mean, they could have put whatever they want in there. That's not for me to say.
Even Returnal, which I think you're not gonna get much Returnal sales anymore. I think it already hit his. It's already hit his stuff, right? It's pretty much a PS Plus, play it on subscription. That would have been something, Like, it's not gonna sell a whole boatload this holiday. I think it's already past that. That would have been even. Hey, get Returnal as part of the bundle.
No,
You
I
know,
completely
something-
agree.
Yeah, I think that would have been also a good choice.
So,
And especially that would have been people probably at this point is not going to buy Returnal. It's already past its prime. Right?
Yeah,
I think, you know,
Returnal.
Yeah.
So now it's
That's
hey,
fair.
if we're gonna prop up Housemarque as a bigger
yeah,
studio,
throw in the box.
throw it in the advertisement. Hey, you know we have the studio, their first party. Yeah, we know you never heard of them because you never played the indies. And they'd be like, man, I never
Listen,
realized.
you know, let's not forget what it was.
That's
Do you
good
remember
advertisement.
Housemarque, right? Resogun. People wouldn't stop talking about that
Yep.
last generation.
Bro, Dead Nation, Resogun, Alien Nation, those are
I'm
all
not kidding you,
fire.
P-Rock.
Gun compared to Gears of War.
No,
Those were the days.
those were the days, buddy. But I'll tell you, Resogun.
Rise.
Listen,
You
shout
talking
out
that
to
Rising PlayStation's talking about Rezo Gun and Tropico 5. Oh, that was when he was.
Pico 5, the List Wars. Yo, that was great.
Yes, the List Wars.
Remember the List Wars?
A bunch of games that nobody heard
Nobody
of.
would ever play, even if you
Exactly.
did give them away. So great. So speaking of that, let's go over. I want to change subjects. And P-Rock, I'm going to go to you first here. So Phil Spencer had the interview that he did. It was during the Gamescom time frame this week, and he revealed really what Microsoft's main intentions were moving forward. And I got the. Let me just put this on screen here. I do have a clip. I just want to read this to you guys. Let's see if I can actually read the damn thing. It's so far away from my damn eyesight. I can't even see what the hell it says. Give me 1 second, guys. There it is. Maybe it happened in your household to buy an Xbox and I buy a PlayStation. This was Phil Spencer's quote. And I buy a PlayStation and our kids want to play together and they can't be bought the wrong, and our kids want to play together and they can't because we bought the wrong piece of plastic to plug into our television, he said. And quote again, he says, we really love to be able to bring more players and reducing friction, making people feel safe, secure when they're playing, allowing them to find their friends, play with their friends, regardless of what device. I think in the long run, that is good for the industry. And maybe in the short run, there's some people who in some companies don't love it. I think he's referring to Sony there. That's just my opinion. This is me. He says, but I think as we get over the hump and see where this industry can continue to grow, it proves out to be true. So, question for you here, P-Rock. What do you think Phil means when he says that? First of all, the one thing that I question, this is a me, I just got to get it off my chest because it bothers me, because I am an Apple fan and I did grow up during the era of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs would jump off the stage and strangle somebody if they called his phone a piece of plastic or anything he made a piece of plastic. Yeah. The fact that he called it a piece of plastic just shows me that, like, I know what he's trying to say. I really do. I get it. But it's supposed to be like, this is such a huge community. The console community is massive. It's what's in, and I think it was, I don't remember if it was Blaze. I don't want to say who said it because I don't remember, but somebody said the essence of what Game Pass will truly grow through will be these consoles to start. So I don't really know why that's like console war stuff, right? When we're like, are we really fighting over plastic? I mean, if I was a lead designer, I'd be like, Phil, I literally haven't seen my family in 2 years for that piece of plastic, right? There's a little bit of my blood dripped in each one of those boxes. But nonetheless, but what do you think, Puerto Rock, when you hear something like this? What's the future of Xbox? Do you hear more and more? Shout out to Kn1ght. He did a big video on it, and a lot of people should go over and check it out. It was a really good video, and he thinks, and I think sometimes that Xbox is starting to lean towards going third party. Is that, or is that something that is just rhetoric and it's nonsense?
So the thing that's hard about this question is because I look at Phil Spencer as Jekyll and Hyde. There's a side of him where he talks as I genuinely believe Phil does love gaming and he does want the best for the community, but he still has a responsibility to Microsoft.
Absolutely.
And I think, and those two are not the same. So sometimes I see when something like this, he is talking as Phil, just the good guy, but then when he really has to sit in his chair at the round table in Redmond, he has to make the decision that is best for Xbox and stuff, right? It's like saying, hey, I want everybody to play games, but then he goes by Bethesda and now we can't play Starfield when they already
well, that's the thing, Puerto Rock. What's the sense of somebody saying Xbox is leaning to go third party? Then why buy all these devs? Why spend all this money for them just to go third party? It just don't make sense.
It's just yeah.
It kind of does.
So the thing is, for me, the third party, I think right now, over the course of this generation is really when maybe in his mind, third party is pretty much Game Pass. If you're a device that supports Game Pass, he doesn't really care what the device is. But whoever owns that device, and they said, you know what? Yes, you can run Game Pass on my device. He will support
On any device. I got what you're saying.
device,
All right.
yeah. But he can't. Let's say, for example, Nintendo and Sony. He cannot force Game Pass on those platforms. They have to come to him. He could offer it. He goes, "Hey guys, you wanna, see if we could put Game Pass?" If they tell him, "No, thanks, appreciate it, Phil. Have a nice day," and like, all right. But the moment they say, "Hey, yo, Phil, we might reconsider Game Pass on PlayStation or Nintendo," he will be all about it. And he will put it there. So I think everything in terms of him being third party, it's third party on devices that's willing to get Game Pass. If you're willing to get Game Pass, he will provide the most absolute. He don't care if it's Amazon Fire Sticks, Roku, whoever wants Game Pass, he will fully support with the full strength and backing of Microsoft. You will get every title, day and date, everything.
You think PlayStation would accept Game Pass if they were willing to give it?
No,
I don't
that's the whole thing.
People
Exactly.
keep saying that online, and honestly, every time I see that, people say cringe factor. People are like, it's just a matter of time before you see Game Pass on PlayStation.
It would alienate the whole.
Phil would love it. It's not him. It's
not
Sony.
Phil. Sony's not allowing it.
Yeah, it's
that's true.
so if Game Pass is not part of their vision because they want to do PSN Plus and this new PSN Plus the way they want to do it, then they're gonna focus on that. But hey, the moment the CEO of Sony be like, hey, Phil, we want to reconsider. Let's work this Game Pass. He'll do it personally. He's like, I will deliver the service to you personally in Japan.
Yes.
So to him, third party is any device that's willing to get Game Pass. And if you're not willing to get Game Pass, it's not him. He's not blocking you from it. So I think that's why Phil is trying to say, hey, we could all unify, but Game Pass is the way. It's got to be through this service. And the only people saying no is the ones on those end, the hardware owners or the device owners, right? I think iPhone is one of them, right? iPhone don't want Game Pass, or is Game Pass available on iPhone? I'm not sure. I don't know.
There is a Game
the
Pass
opposite.
app.
Is the app on iPhone?
I don't think so.
Which app?
The Game Pass app.
Game Pass app, yeah.
There is a Game Pass app on my on iPhone. Yes.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is.
Can you use it to play games? Because
Yeah.
So Apple's like, yeah, cool. Put Game Pass through the iOS store. That's all he needs. He just needs permission from everybody. And I think Phil is really like, hey, we could all share this, but on the business side, it's got to be through Game Pass though. You guys just got to accept Game Pass, and
as long as it's through Game Pass, he don't give a shit.
He don't give a damn. And and think about it. This will probably
and it feeds Azure, by the way, which is what Microsoft's strategy ultimately is. By the way,
and that's all related. So it's like who would have thought you could get Windows Office on Mac? You don't give a damn. Don't buy Windows. Fine, cool. You like Mac? Cool. Here you go. Subscribe to Windows 365 on your Mac. Who would have thought that would have ever happened? You know what I'm saying? So I think to them, it's just as long as you're willing to get Game Pass, they will support your platform. And he doesn't care about the backlash. And I'm pretty sure there will be some huge backlash from the fanboys. Oh, if I would have known you would have done this, I would have known about your console. Phil's not going to care about that. He's not going to care. If Sony wants the Game Pass, he will do it in a minute. And Starfield will be hell. It'll be like the Xbox showcase, and he will show the PS5 version just to be a nice guy. And we'll show you the PS5 version of Starfield right on Game Pass day one. He will have no issues doing that. Because to him, that's so
it might be running better too. That's crazy.
Oh wow, that'll be fun. But I think his future is everybody gets to play, but the fine print in really, really tiny font on a 0.5 font through Game Pass. Whatever device gets Game Pass,
have an Xbox Live account.
Yeah, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that game.
Shout out to Crusader. He says, shout out to Crusader. He just wrote me a DM on Discord. He said, you have to stream Game Pass through a browser on iOS. The app exists, but you can't stream it.
Exactly. I thought it was. I thought I tried to do it, and it didn't. I couldn't get it to work.
What does that?
This was a while ago.
So
no, this was us talk. This was us talking about the. Wait, go ahead, P-Rock. What was your question?
Yeah. So what does that app do? The Game Pass app do then? If you can't actually stream through it,
you can you can download games, so you can go on it. If games are on there, you can download it so that when you click it, it starts to download it to your console.
So it's basically the PlayStation companion.
It's the PlayStation app.
Right. It's just like the PlayStation app. So it's not a dedicated Game Pass app. It's just
you can like message people and all that stuff.
Okay. So then so technically Game Pass is not on iOS.
Right.
They just found the way to bypass it.
There was something on iOS. I use it on my iPad.
Yeah, but it's
you're the web browser.
Yeah, you're doing it through the browser.
Yeah, it was through a browser.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was through a browser.
So Microsoft just found a way to bypass the iOS requirement.
Right, exactly. Because listen,
Yeah.
that's the one thing. Apple's not playing. You know them. They're not playing nice with Epic. They're not playing nice with Microsoft.
But it was Apple's blessing though. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Shout out to Reverse World Deals. Mooch, please challenge your panel more and get one or two guys to argue for Xbox's side. That would be actual crossfire.
Well, kind of saying xCloud is on iOS.
Yeah, sure. BRAP, you suck. Xbox #1. There you go.
Xbox.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Yo, I don't know who's trying to play games on their phone, bro. I mean, that's
Well, you know what? Blaze, thanks for saying that's something that we've been saying for a long time. Shout out to even Crap. But Crap used to say it all the time too. We keep seeing this narrative pushed on social
Mooch, we're
media,
playing Fortnite, man.
but it's not. No, listen, by the way, guys, even though
I want
went-
physical controls, Mooch. Like, I'm not saying if there's
Yeah.
physical controls, I'll deal with it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
But
even
streaming it.
Be honest, Blaze. Are you really gonna have that fucking
Listen,
controller attachment with your phone up top
exactly,
of it?
Bit.
Controller?
I wouldn't really take it serious because
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
can't take
stream
that
it.
shit
You gotta stream it. If this was something I could download and play it, I don't want to stream no games, bro.
Listen,
I don't.
travel. Listen, I traveled for work for a majority of my like, career. In all honesty, people on their phones are playing but they're playing the Apple games. They're playing those goofy arcade games, right? They're playing the games that annoy us when we hit skip ad before a podcast,
Games
right?
designed for phones.
It's like that. That's the stuff that they're playing. They're playing quick, fast, 10-minute things. When we see this narrative pushed by Phil, and he's like, well, you can play anywhere on your phone, on your tablet. I'm not saying nobody does it because you can never speak in absolutes on the internet. You're not allowed to.
Never speaking of Blues, Mooch.
Never, BRAP. That's a rule, right? People should get tattoos of that on their arm. But the point of the matter is that you don't want.
I have one on my back.
Hopefully not on your lower.
Joking,
Listen, here's the thing.
Tramp stamp.
Right? I mean,
Yeah,
Blaze,
exactly.
Blaze, when's the next time you go on the road that you're going to take your PlayStation or your Xbox controller, prop your phone up on a 45-degree angle, and really, really get into Elden Ring?
Yeah, never. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I went on vacation and I took the Switch, and it was the worst. Like I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, listen, by the way, I win this Fortnite game bit, but honestly, it's all because this is my first time. I think I killed 90% bots. So
I hate the
Nimbus Cloud, by the way.
And Nemesis and shit. It's like, what the fuck?
I hate
Mooch, drop this game, by the way. This game is
trash. I can't stand it.
No,
too
it's
much
not
bloom.
trash.
There's so much, bro. There's so much bloom when you shoot. Do you know what bloom is, BRAP? Like, it's horrible, bro. You can't even line your shot. You got to sit there and
anything, dude. I can't stand this.
No,
game.
I'm
shooting is
not
horrible,
arguing.
bro.
I'm not
played
arguing
one
that
round.
shooting is not, but it's still it's fun. It is.
Yeah,
fun.
no, I'm not saying it's not fun. The worlds are beautiful. Yo, they got microtransactions that make me
Blaze,
even buy. I'm like, oh my god.
I'm not saying that the mechanics are like on par with some other shooters. They're not, but
I'm a
it's not
Warzone freak.
a bad game. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, no, it's
I
fun.
like it.
I got kids, so I'm forced to play. So I bought nice skins just because fuck it. If I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna look good. Oh, but can I swear on this shit? By the way,
Yes,
my fault, 'cause
absolutely.
I gotta.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. Well, fuck you then. All right.
Oh man, now it's gonna be a curse every 5 minutes from him.
Yeah, I'm really bad with that. Yeah.
Shout out again to
Same here,
Crusader. He
man.
says
Same here.
Xbox.com/play. Apple prevents all game streaming on the App Store. He goes, what do you go? You want an Xbox? Yeah, I would put you on Crusader. But we're only 20 minutes left on the show. I will get you on next week, though. We'll get the great Crusader on here. You guys want to hear an Xbox guy? Crusader's your guy, guys. Go over and follow him. But yeah,
They keep saying cloud gaming is 10 years away. I don't think that shit ever gonna take off. Personally,
It's just.
Google Fiber was your only.
Here's the thing, guys.
chance for that
You're
shit.
listening
It's not everywhere. It's
I'll
not
take
gonna be
myself out of it. BitCloud, Blaze, JVB, Porter Rock, BRAP. These guys have been gaming for decades. If you have people that love this, and we talk about it 3-4 times a week on different shows, we talk about it on podcasts, we talk about it on Twitter, we play games, we talk to each other on the consoles.
Discord, bro.
And if you're doing Discord, these are the people that are telling you that they don't want to play on a phone. And they go, well, Mooch, that's because you guys are older.
Exactly.
Younger generation wants to do it. No, they do want to do it, but they want to play games like the Apple Arcade. They're not going to, nobody's going to get into The Witcher 3 on their phone. Okay? Like, it's not happening.
He's gonna be yelling. Why this shit won't work?
It's like every gamer, like, okay, you got the entire gaming industry, but each gaming industry is fragmented. You got your phone gamers, and they like their little, like Mooch said, all these little tinky winky games and all that stuff.
Yeah.
My wife is technically a gamer, but she doesn't like PlayStation.
Sounds like other consumer markets, but go ahead.
And here's the thing, but that's okay. Diversity is what you do want, because nobody wants to play the same thing all across the board. People want something that's different, that appeals to them. Some people love those 10-minute games. Some people love the fact that they can buy something
Absolutely
to get to the next level. You understand what I'm saying? Every single person doesn't want to play Gears of War or Uncharted. That's just not possible.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Let the phone market, but people are trying to translate, well, because phone market makes $1 billion. Yeah, Xbox and PlayStation got to go there. Like, no, it's the content. People forget it's about content. You got to attract people to content, and some people don't like God of War. And just because you put it on the phone doesn't mean they're going to play it now. That's not what they're looking for on the phone. On the flip side, if you're a console gamer, like I just bought, like when I bought the PS5, I bought the Samsung Q80 TV simply because of an HDMI 2.1 port. Because of a goddamn port, I bought this TV. You think I'm gonna invest all this money just to end up playing on my goddamn phone? Like, no, I want the bells and whistles. I want the frame rates, the HDR, the native 4K. I want it all. I'm not gonna relegate.
Pretty soon I'm gonna be seeing you with that mouse and keyboard.
Like, you're out your mind.
Yeah, exactly. And Big Clap, thank you, Big Clap. Yeah, I was gonna say, Porter, you talk about all these things. I'm like, dude, you need to come to the PC side. But I guess
here's the bright side.
I'm not a
You can put that.
I'm gonna still play with a controller.
Yo, Porter, I play with a controller all day, bro.
Good.
Me too.
I better get my haptics. I better get my PlayStation.
You get that too.
You can still get that on PC.
You get on PC.
I better get my PlayStation games day one. I am not going to be a second-class citizen and wait for my turn. I'm not going to wait for my turn.
Different, bro, because I double dip all the time. I double dip.
Do not tell me to wait for my turn. Like, Porter Rock, yeah, since you chose PC, you got to wait. No. I'm going to spend $10,000 to wait? No. It comes here first. All right? I get served first.
Nah, not that much money, P-Rock. You can get a nice piece.
I'm going to call you Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last.
Exactly. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait till everybody spoils Spider-Man 2. No.
Hey, Porter Rock, I got a question for you, man. Like, what if everyone's talking about mobile, though, right? Yeah. And I'm just hypothetical. What if 10 years, 15 years from now, the apps are on TVs? I got a 65-inch OLED LG. What if the Xbox app's on there and it's all the games, PlayStation apps on there, all the games, it all works great, looks great, it's on my TV. What about that?
Work, BRAP, because they would have to put physical hardware so you could run these games at a standard that we expect. So now prices of TVs are skyrocketing because they got to add all this extra shit in the TV. Like, again, if it's not.
But TVs are already doing that, and we're talking about the implementation of cloud streaming.
You think your LG's running God of War Ragnarok?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
streaming.
10, 15 years from down the road.
Streaming, I don't think the TV.
Oh, for streaming, yeah, but streaming is dog shit, bro.
But here's the thing.
It is right now.
So here's the thing. With the bandwidth, at any point, with the bandwidth of internet, will always provide the same experience as a top-end console natively. I don't think we will ever get to that point. I don't think so either. I think streaming will always lag behind native hardware because native hardware, the work is being done on the spot.
I don't.
We're not even talking about input controls, bro. No input lag. We're not even talking about that.
I don't disagree, but they are like Stadia apparently has done very well in the streaming space, like the technology at least. Not Stadia as a platform. I mean, I never, like Mooch says, never speaking absolutes, and I'm just saying, like I never want to say that technology can get perfected to the point where they can't do this. Maybe they could. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, somebody said a good comment. Never say never in tech, but that's
yeah. I mean, like never. I mean, like they could. I mean, maybe one day. And Mooch, you got the nude dating site, by the way. Back.
Oh, do what I can, man. I do what I can.
Yeah. And so
they pay well. Go ahead, please.
They do. But I mean, like all jokes aside, like I mean, I'm thinking like 15, 20 years down the road, and I always think about my parents, and I would tell them things about the internet. And they're like, this is never going to happen. You can't get as much information on the internet as you can from the Encyclopedia Britannica. And now you can, and more. So, I'm just,
here's my thing.
I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's never going to happen. That's going to happen, but
I'll say this. Even right now, right? I got 400 meg in it. It's more than enough to run Netflix. And I got a great router. I got great everything. But there are still days where, for whatever reason, Netflix gets that 25% in the middle of a movie.
Yeah.
Now that's not a big deal.
I don't disagree.
It's not a big deal because it's a movie. I wait a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds.
Right, catches up, it buffers, good.
But you do that in a game, I'm flipping out. You do that like in a Souls game.
Spoil the experience.
Can't do that in Fortnite.
And then it gets back, and my character's dead.
Yeah, you can't have that.
No doubt.
I'm flipping out.
But I'm saying like in the future though. I'm saying,
look, let me put this. If your question is, it mimics native console up to that
in
point,
the future, do you think it might be possible?
Then it could be. Then I could see the transition being easier. But even then, if I had the choice, I would still choose the console because, again, I don't have to worry about the internet going out. I don't have to worry about my router messing it up. I don't have to worry about configurations. I don't have to worry about my ISP telling me, "Hey, you're
it just works." That's what he's saying. Bro, you grab your controller, you turn it on, it plays. You feel me?
But even if it works, I say, even if it works exactly like the console, I will choose the console. The only way I will be stuck playing is if I don't have the choice. If Sony and Microsoft decides we are no longer making consoles, everything's done with the app, then I don't have a choice. But as long as they keep making consoles, I'm gonna buy a console.
Yeah. For almost 15 years. For almost 50 years, gaming has always revolved around the console.
Yes.
It's one of the few bits of entertainment that hasn't really changed. If you look at computers with the Google laptops, they try to have everything streamed, all your entire operating system, but people are still going the old-fashioned route and building their own PCs.
Yep.
So as long as those two, because a console is a computer, and at the end of the day, it has an operating system, hard drive, all of that shit. So the two, in my opinion, coincide. Until one of those changes, unless the internet is unified and we all have 1,000 gigabytes, and the servers are enormous, and Microsoft could do that, or Amazon. That's a long ways. That's a long
ways out. A long ways out.
JVB, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that this would happen now, but I'm saying like 20 years from now. Like,
I'll be 70.
And I'm not saying this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. Yeah. Where again, we talked about this earlier. Costs to do business and inflation, things like that. If these companies can figure out how to deliver console-like experiences, minus the R&D and all the costs associated with that, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
That's why I think
I think at the end of the day,
I think it'll be a forced decision. Meaning, if Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, when they decide, hey, we will no longer provide hardware, everything will be done through apps and streaming, then we don't have a choice. It's like
right. And Brad, look, I've tried. I don't know if you guys have tried Stadia, but look, so I tried Stadia. I got this program. I got this excellent program called Marillis. So I'm playing Stadia and saying, hey, this is the 4K version. And we know it's not 4K, but my app, the app is literally telling me it's at 1300p. It's dropping to 1080p. It's jumping. It's like literally telling me this in real time, like the resolution.
Yeah.
And it's not even it's not even the 4K resolution or being 1800p. I can deal with that, right? For especially we're streaming off a browser. It's incredible. The thing that bothers me the most, and I don't know if they'll ever get it right, is the input delay, bro. That shit. If you're
and all that,
bro, if you're sensitive to that shit, you cannot unsee it. You're fucked.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
It's the same.
I don't.
Maybe Nintendo.
Stadia did a good job, bro. Stadia don't get enough credit, bro. Like I was legit shocked.
Yeah.
How well some games were running.
Yeah.
Like playing Destiny multiplayer, and are you kidding? I was playing multiplayer with Kn1ght. These guys are on PC. I'm on Stadia, and we're running a match now. I could feel it. Trust me. But the fact that it was up and running, I was like, wow.
See, I agree, and that was one of the things I said when I tried Stadia out for the 2-3 months I did. I said, for what it is, when I tried xCloud and I tried Stadia, believe it or not, I thought Stadia actually performed a bit better. But at the end of the day, what Blaze just said holds true, and it's what takes me out of it is, even though I was impressed to a certain degree, I was also at a point where I was like, I could feel it, and it took me out of the game. That little bit of lag, that little bit, I can't even put it into words. Yeah. It pulled, and we are so far away from making that one-to-one connection. And that's why when the that's why the Xbox propaganda doesn't really play that anywhere, and that doesn't really sell for me.
And Brad, you
make a
didn't
work
buy the
comparison?
LG TV, Brad. You didn't buy the LG TV because because you bought the LG TV because you want the very best experience. You want HDMI 2.1. You want the best contract ratios. You want the best HDR. You want perfect blacks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Can I make a weird comparison?
Absolutely.
Can I make a weird comparison?
Go ahead,
So I do photography as well. Nowadays, there's so many people posting photos all over the internet with their cell phones. But I went ahead and I bought, a Leica camera, which has a strong history, is very prestigious when it comes to cameras. There are brands that still build what they are experts at, such as vehicles. You look at Rolls-Royce, stuff like that, BMW. So if you look at the comparison between people using their cell phone to take photography and using people using their cell phones to play video games, there's still those companies that thrive in those particular fields that will always be around.
Markets,
so I think,
yeah.
So I think that a company like Nintendo and PlayStation, they pride themselves in those consoles.
Yes, they
because that's where they, specifically Nintendo.
JVB, I don't think you'd ever hear Herman Hulst or Cerny or anybody refer to the PS5 as a piece of plastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with that.
I mean, I know, maybe you're probably going, Mooch, you're still on that. I still can't get over that. I can't get over it.
Well, Spencer has never been a great talker.
No,
it's like as he gets caught off guard.
I don't think Jim Ryan is either, but
right,
and that's true. That's true. You look at Sean Layden. Sean Layden was a used car salesman.
Yes, him and Trenton really, when they exchanged hands, it was like it was a perfect handoff of the baton. Right? Yeah, it was.
Oh man,
Jack Trent was the fucking man. He was the man.
Jack Trent was a saint. Leave him alone, man.
I'll fuck with Jack Trent heavy, bro.
Hey,
but I think Phil Spencer's just saying the plastic thing just to guys, come on, bro. It's you know what I mean? This is a video game.
That's all. But message,
right?
Yeah.
But it's still a bad choice of words if you know.
So and again, I like what JV's talking about. There's definitely enthusiasts. There's an enthusiast market out there, right? Like you mentioned, Rolls Royce, and I get that. But I think tech might be a little bit different. And just it's funny, we talk about enthusiasts, records are coming back now. Vinyl records are actually
vinyl,
coming back. Yeah, vinyl is.
So are cassettes.
Yeah. And, but I'm not saying that, I don't know. The point of my,
it's HD DVDs.
Yeah. The point of my question was I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we could have situations where maybe Sony is and Microsoft are putting these games on an app on a TV, and maybe they sell hardware for people that want that experience. That one-to-one. Maybe.
Yeah, there could be there could be both. An option.
Yeah, it could be both. But
but I think it would be more beneficial for Xbox to go third party and have Game Pass available wherever it's accepted, because that would generate so much freaking money that they wouldn't give two craps about the console.
They don't have to worry about the hardware anymore. And to be honest with you, if you think about it, listen to what Phil says in his team. What JVB just said that's what they're selling. It's really what they keep talking about. It's not about years in Porter Rock. We were laughing before the show. It's not about Xbox versus PlayStation anymore. It's PlayStation versus Game Pass. It's Game Pass. They're selling Game Pass now.
Game Pass is
and Mooch, to JVB's point, what Microsoft's trying to do is they're basically trying to duplicate the success of the Office 365 model, the subscription service. Because remember Office 365, you can still buy it you can still buy it physically, but they're trying to duplicate that model and in the gaming space. And so it's going to be interesting how that plays out, because there's more competition in the gaming space as opposed to the Office space and the enterprise space. But that's basically what Microsoft's trying to do with Xbox. They're trying to duplicate the success they've had with the subscription model of enterprise.
And they'll probably throw that shit into the 360.
Yeah.
They have that 360 subscription where it has a few of their Main Street apps. So I could see Xbox being part of that subscription down the line, where if you own a Windows PC, you have that 360 Live or whatever they call it.
365. We have. Yep.
Yeah.
So let me ask this, P-Rock. We're running a little out of time here. There's a great Jeff Grubbs here as well. He says it's not about Xbox, and yet this is the fastest selling Xbox, which is definitely weird. Jeff, remember something. This is something you said. We went through 2 years where we couldn't leave the house. Granted, even though with supplies short, I mean, it was record-breaking for all kinds of tech that we had in the box. Now we're starting to see different things now that people are out again. There's weddings outside. There's people going to bars. There's picnics. There's concerts. Okay? Now you're starting to see that the numbers are changing as the quarters, both Sony and Microsoft, have declined. So, yes, it's the fastest-selling Xbox. Okay, that's great. But even as the fastest-selling Xbox, it's still 5-6 million behind PlayStation, and we know the problems they've had. So it's still kind of struggling a bit.
I mean,
it's not struggling in its own world,
Mooch.
but it's struggling in the console space. It's still in last place.
And in the software too, and software.
And software, absolutely software. Hence, that's why we're in the Game Pass era. You know, so you look at Halo 5 sales, and Halo 5 sales hasn't compared to a plethora of the PlayStation's first-party games.
Doesn't even compare to Days Gone. And Days Gone, this is
Days
a
Gone?
brand new IP from Sony.
Oh, no, don't do that, Puerto Rock.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not
man.
discrediting what Jeff's saying. Jeff's right.
Rubbing real good.
Jeff's
Nah.
right, but I mean, at the same time, it's, you know.
But I would say Game Pass is powering Xbox success because it isn't
Absolutely,
big,
bro.
It isn't the big exclusives that's doing it. It's
Talk your shit, Puerto Rock. Fuck that.
But let's be honest.
Holding
Game
it
Pass-
afloat.
Game Pass, and it's not like this is what Phil intended to happen. He wants Game Pass to be the driving force behind Xbox.
Bro, if Phil could change
what
the
he
name of
did.
the Series X to the Game Pass X, he would. Trust me. Like,
That's
yeah,
what he
yeah.
did. That's what he pitched. I mean, we all know the stories. Phil's the savior. He saved Xbox. Why you think he did? He said Game Pass is what's going to save this brand. So that driving force of the console, and it's working so far. He's doing a lot better than what Xbox One did. You know, is so out the gate. Game Pass is the driving force. So everything is powered behind Game Pass.
And I
Game
might
Pass
be.
Days Gone is fire too, by the way.
I like Days Gone. I platinumed it. I thought, well, I'm a zombie freak, though. Anything with zombies
Not
in
that
it, I
great.
play. I wanted to talk about that. But like when it comes down to it, this is part of what I was saying. Also, this kind of piggybacks with the whole price increase discussion. But you've got, again, God of War. If Sony decides to do God of War, even just a custom console, I mean, 50 people are going to pay an extra 150 for that. Free will. So Microsoft doesn't have anything to combat. And so when you're looking at the number, let's use real numbers here because a lot of people don't like the other article. I think we're sitting, if you go by the latest VG charts, we're somewhere around 22 million for PlayStation 5 and 16 million. Both of them are in change. It's 22 million in change and 16 million in change. That's their numbers from VG charts, the latest I saw this past week. So take that, you guys, with a grain of salt, okay? But now you're going into a holiday where the Last of Us is coming out in a week. You've got God of War coming out right before Christmas, and you've got Modern Warfare in October. And then you've got, I know everyone likes to go, well, Forspoken looks like shit. Okay, say whatever you want. I can't wait to play it, but nonetheless, that's coming out in January. So that's another first-party game, right?
Mooch, you excited for that game?
Buddy, I'm excited. What do you want me to say?
Brother, come on, brother. Really?
It's not bad. It doesn't look bad. Well, the writing,
It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not God of War excited, but it's January, right? I've got Forspoken and I've got Dead Space remake.
Dead Space all day, bro.
So hopefully there's a 2-week buffer in there so we can enjoy the game. Now
listen,
listen.
they did a smart move moving it to January because
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there's too much.
If it was in October, buried.
Hey, Mooch, by the way, that,
it would have been like Rise of Tomb Raider, just completely buried.
It would have been buried behind everything else. I agree.
Bad.
But my point, and BRAP, I'll give you the mic
Mooch,
after this. I just want to say that I think you're going to see this 22 to 16 million. When we go to January, you're really going to see Sony take off. Because what's Microsoft fighting back the rest of this year with? They don't have anything. And I'm sorry, Game Pass, you guys saw what's coming out in Game Pass. We already saw it. We saw the 12-month show. There's nothing there that's going to move the needle from 25 million to 40 million. Nothing. So it's not going to happen. And I've been saying this for months. And everybody's like, "You're full of shit, Mooch."
Yo, Mooch, why are they so worried about numbers now? You remember Xbox stopped counting numbers at one point, when PlayStation 4 was beating the brakes off Xbox 2-1. They stopped counting numbers, like they just stopped at like 20 million, and now these guys want to throw numbers in our face. Oh, this many.
What's funny is Xbox technically still ain't counting numbers.
No,
they just using reading.
These are estimates.
They still not revealing numbers. So
Sony reveals their numbers. Microsoft still has not. That number, that 16 and change, is an estimate.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. I'm not saying that the estimate isn't ballpark. I'll even ride with it. I'll ride with it. But that's and it's a good point, but Blaze makes. Now all of a sudden we want to talk about 25 million subscribers. Microsoft, and notice the last quarter, they didn't give a number again. They just said it went up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got news for you. If you made $10 last week and then you made $10.05, you could run out and be like, I made more money. You sure did.
Exactly.
Technically.
Yeah, I mean, Mooch, that's actually not a bad point. I mean, like, we don't know what the churn rate is for.
No, we don't.
Game Pass. We don't. We really don't. So
We don't. And, you know, and
And
really.
during the
Go ahead,
and
JP.
during the 360 era, Aaron Greenberg every freaking month was bragging about their victories in the MPDs. You don't see him doing that anymore.
No, they don't do it anymore. And don't get me wrong. I get
Painting
it.
his nails now. That's what he's doing.
Billy
Oh,
Akira
yeah.
goes, but Mooch, they got Pentiment. Oh, God.
The list
hey,
is
what
back.
is
There's the
what
list.
is
Yeah,
Pentiment?
Tropico 8.
hey, Mooch. By the way, what is Pentiment? Because I've heard a couple people bring that up
Pentiment
to
is
me.
basically
what is that?
game.
It's a game that
What?
is, and shout out to Crusader. I'll give him credit. He's the one that I was talking to him while we were playing Destiny the other night, and he said to me, basically, it's made by the same folks. No, not the same folks. Pardon me. It's mimicking a Disco Elysium. You guys know that game? It's a story.
Yeah.
It's a story.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
narrative-driven story game where
Isometric,
you make decisions. It's got an interesting cartoony kind of look to it. It looked like that paper look, that three-dimensional paper look. It is. Listen, I'm not taking away anything. If you like that type of game, but I can tell you right now, Pentiment's a game that I would play if I was having a hard time falling asleep. With 5-6 scenes into that thing, I'd be out like a clock.
Oh, come on, Mooch.
No,
Come
well, that's
on,
a me
man.
problem. It's a me problem.
Why? Mooch, why?
Why?
You haven't even played it yet. You haven't played it.
I've been gaming for 30 years. I pretty much know what
Wait, what game is this, Mooch?
Pentiment.
Yeah, bro. I never heard of it. But listen, you
Mooch,
guys know.
What if it's great though? Like,
Yeah, but Brad, you can look at a game. Listen, the days where you're like, oh, you gotta play a game to know. Like, you can look at a game and know if you're gonna be fucking with it or not. That's the truth, man. You can look at a game and like, I'm not.
And I think some of us can relate. I know
I learned that the hard way.
We grew up on JVB. I think most of us were
I
old
know, Blaze.
enough
I would just
that-
fuck with Mooch.
and for the people in the chat,
Oh, I
think
got
we
you.
came from an era where the only way we can know a game is good or not is by looking at the box.
The
And you
back
got
of the
description
box, bro.
and two pictures.
Yeah, that's
That's
fact.
it.
Yep.
That's it.
fact.
That's
Hey,
all
but-
you
hey,
got.
There
Make
you
your
go.
choice.
So Jeff,
Or-
Jeff
or-
Wait, how old are you, P-Rock?
But today,
Rob
we
just
got
mentioned.
videos, we got Twitch streams. Oh, we got
Hey.
so much information. I can easily tell if I'm.
Hey,
gonna
by the
like
way,
it.
Grub just piqued my attention. He said Pentiment is from the guy who made Fallout Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, now
from the city.
I'm interested
Yeah.
because Fallout Vegas is the best Fallout
Do you
game.
know?
Like-
Do you know
I
what
mean,
this?
it's
Do you,
like
do you
Oregon
know what the game?
Trails.
Brap, do you know what the game is? Have you seen it?
It's like
But he's a
Oregon
murder
Trails
mystery.
or something.
It's a
But
murder
remember,
mystery. It's like
yeah.
this
Mooch,
disco
Mooch,
Here's the
Elysium
thing,
or
here's the
something
thing.
like that.
That's
See,
like-
okay, and that's
Listen,
the problem right there. Just because the guy made it, like, look at what he's saying. It's a murder mystery. Like, he's not interested in that type of game. It don't matter who made it. Don't matter if Neil Druckmann made it. It don't
but here's
matter.
the thing: you got to be
Hey,
careful
but
when people say.
pedigree.
You got to be careful when the describe for the makers of this game. You got to be careful because remember, from the makers of Hellblade, you know what I'm
Or
saying,
Shenmue. Shenmue 3.
for the makers of Hellblade and and all these other games came Bleeding Edge. That
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily
exactly.
translate.
A bunch of passion projects, bro.
Now.
Don't get me started with your passion projects,
So
dog.
you got to see the game, and you got to take the game at
Hey,
face
I just-
value.
Like
You know?
I'm just saying what Jeff mentioned got me excited. That's all I'm saying.
No,
That's
Fallout
fine.
New Vegas.
I-
Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout, but that's not saying much.
Well, when you see,
Anymore, is it?
Brap, I'm shocked. If you just
Oh,
actually
no,
just
that's
quickly
great.
open a new
Wait,
tab.
Mooch, I can't be excited for games.
No, you can. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop your excitement. I'm saying you go ahead and open a new tab. Just type in Pentiment and just look at it. It's a two-dimensional, like, it's like those pop-up books. You know the pop-up books that.
And
we
Mooch,
had?
I'm about to
It's
block
like-
you
it's-
again. I'm about to
Yeah,
block
yeah.
you.
Is he
looks like
blocking
that.
me?
Oh,
I'm about to block
It's
you.
like a book.
Okay. That's so toxic. He can't enjoy Pentiment.
I'm
He can't
joking,
enjoy a
I'm
game he
joking.
just heard about 5 seconds ago.
Mooch is right in my
So
parade. I want to enjoy a
I'll-
game. He's like, don't enjoy it, Brap.
So let me ask Porter Rock a question real quick. I want to do a speed round here because it is after 9. Last topic here, but this is a big one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
P-Rock, honestly, when it comes down to the Activision deal that's going on, right, there's a lot of that happening. I thought it was very interesting the way Phil kind of answered the questions when he was being interviewed. It didn't look like, everybody on social media is like, it's going through. I can see its head. It's happening. It's coming through. And I'm like, dude,
Hey,
I don't know if
big
this
shout
is
out to
coming
Erica,
through.
by the way, just had a baby.
Oh, congratulations to Erica, by the way. Yes, thank you. You didn't have to go that far with you, but nonetheless, Brap.
Well, when you said it's coming through, it just
I know,
made me
I'm
think of
making a
babies.
joke,
Yeah,
but my thing about it is that like
The head is growing.
I didn't think that this deal was done yet. And
Get
your head
I
out
think-
the gutter, man.
Crusting.
right? And I think that this deal might have a little bit more work to be done. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I think the paperwork's going to shift here. So I'm putting the article, one of the other Spencer, who has pledged to make Call of Duty available for the rival Sony PlayStation, at least for some period of time. That was also awkward wording. Said the idea of games made exclusively for one device, in quotes, is something we're just going to see less and less of. So I find that interesting. He's saying exclusive for one device is something we're going to see less and less of, yet Starfield, Redfall, and other games that are coming in the near future are not coming to anything but one
So
device.
he said device specifically. He said console or device.
He said
He
device.
said
Device could be
device.
anything.
But he's still right
Yeah.
because it's coming to a
Well, yeah.
PC device and it's coming to a phone device. Just
Mobile
here's the thing.
phones, yeah.
Somehow it's just got weird that the definition of exclusive has been relegated to whether it's on
Changed
Xbox
again.
or PlayStation. Like that's not what the definition means. Like it's almost like, oh, it's
Facts,
exclusive.
facts.
I'm like, you can play this on the Switch. Oh, it doesn't matter as long as it's not on PlayStation. It's exclusive. So it could be on Switch, phones, Mac, Android, Steam Deck, PC.
All about bragging rights,
calculator.
T-Rock.
But
You
as
know
long
that.
as it's not on PlayStation, it's still exclusive. Yes, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. So technically, Phil's playing worse. Like, oh, it's not going to be on one device, meaning Xbox. But technically, he's
So
right.
yeah, so you guys are right. That's what Jeff Grubb's saying. He says they're coming to PC. So he's
Yeah,
saying multiple
he's right.
devices. Yeah, yeah.
So the absence of PlayStation does not mean that it's no longer a multiplayer. It is still a multiplayer. It's on
I
PC,
think that, in my personal
Xcloud.
opinion, go ahead, P-Rock.
Yeah. So I'm saying, so Phil. So the definition of multiplayer still holds true. Just because it's not on one device, specific device, doesn't mean that the game's not multiplayer. And me personally, I think Phil's gonna leverage this purchase to try to bring games exclusively to the Game Pass ecosystem, because you're gonna spend this much money and you're still gonna do status quo stuff. It doesn't really make sense. I know a big portion is they don't have to.
So I believe it was you, Puerto Rock, who in one of your podcasts, who said that they would have Call of Duty exclusively available on Game Pass, and you have to subscribe to Game Pass.
No, I didn't say
Was
that.
that you?
I don't think they'll go that far.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard it in one of the podcasts.
My straight up, my view is I think Warzone's safe. I think they're gonna do similar to what they did with Bethesda. Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76 is safe. You're gonna get all the content, all the map packs.
Because Warzone's free, right?
Fine, yeah, because Warzone's free. But the actual individual annual games,
You're still gonna have to buy.
Once the contract's up and all the things, obligations that Microsoft has to adhere to, the Activision,
But Puerto Rock, you're saying like let's say jump 4 or 5 years in the future. You're saying the multiplayer Call of Duty that we buy annually, not Warzone, that'll eventually not be on a PlayStation console.
I think so. I have a feeling.
See, I don't see how the game survives without over 50%.
A lot of money.
Over 50% of the player base is on PlayStation now.
So let's talk about that. So I love this, right? So when people say that, right, and people say, "Hey, majority of the player base is on PlayStation," you are correct. At this point in time, that is what the dynamic is. Now, once the player base finds out their game is no longer on PlayStation, you're gonna have 3 groups. The first group is the hardcore group. They don't care about platform, they care about Call of Duty. They're leaving PlayStation because they're not going to be like, oh, PlayStation's right. No, they don't care. They're going to go.
You're saying if it goes completely exclusive, that's what.
Yeah. So they're going to leave PlayStation. They have no problem because
or they could just buy.
They don't care about consoles. They don't care about.
Or they can just buy both. Like they can buy.
Exactly. But listen, let me break it down. So the first group,
Microsoft's already made a commitment to the FTC that's not going to happen, and that would be very bad legally for Microsoft to renege on that.
It depends on how they're saying it. Because again, if you still
they've said that they're like, this is not going to be like that's good. It's going to be multiple.
Well, BRAP, you say that, but did you see this? Did you see the latest quote? It's right there on the screen.
That's legal speak, right? But I'm just saying
these companies flip flop all the time.
Yeah, let's say
they can, but you got to remember something. It's hunting season for technology companies right now.
Yeah, but
in the FTC.
But let's just say Microsoft's able to pull it off. And right, and I think the number one reason is, but what about the huge money they get from PlayStation? Money's gonna move. You got 3 groups. The first group is the hardcore COD guys. They are going to move. They're gonna leave PlayStation and they're just gonna take over and do what they always do and enjoy it on Xbox. Right? That's the first group. The second group who love Call of Duty, but also loves PlayStation. They're gonna stay on PlayStation, but they're also gonna buy an Xbox now. That's also a win for Xbox.
But
and then the third group is the one that don't really care about Call of Duty. They just play it out of convenience. They'll stay, and then
that's all of us in here. Like I feel like the hardcore gamers don't really care, bro.
I would say the majority will move. The majority is either going to move or they're also going to get an Xbox.
Bro, I feel like everybody on Twitter don't care about COD, bro. Like I feel like there's a lot of people that don't care.
There's a lot of people that care.
No, I'm saying like the hardcore guys that play like the Gears of War games and the Last of Us. Like, yeah, there's the J Baris and Personas and Strickleys that love these games, but I'm saying like I feel like if we had a choice to pick, like take one away, Call of Duty has been on a downward spiral, bro. Let's be real, to me that downward spiral is like they still sell like hotcakes every year. I'm just saying like the perception of Call of Duty has not been great for a long time.
I think people will more. I think at the end of the day, the Call of Duty players that plays this a lot, some of them, that's their go-to game. That's what they mostly help. Some people have PlayStations, and that's really the only game they play. They don't really care about
Madden, Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's Madden, Call of Duty.
Hey, Puerto Rock.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look, man,
hey, Puerto Rock, I love you, man. Semper Fi all day, but you're like the boogeyman. Look.
but I'm saying, is that really...
No, look, here's the thing. Look. But here's the thing, man. Microsoft understands, and they've said this, this is a multiplayer game. It lives and dies on engagement. They're not going to cut off a huge population of the base with the hopes that people are going to spend $200 to $300 to play one game. Some people will, majority won't though. And
you know how many people left Xbox?
Look at Roblox or whatever that game is.
Look at this. You know how many people left Xbox from the transition of 360 to Xbox One because Sony took over the DLC?
No. But Puerto Rock, no, you're wrong. You're wrong about that. Hold on.
Couldn't wait 30 days.
But Puerto Rock, but it wasn't enough to justify Activision to make that game exclusive on the 360.
Right. It wasn't Call of Duty Ghost though on Xbox. They still had the rights.
I'm talking about the people.
Yeah, they had the rights.
But Xbox still had the rights on the Xbox. When the Xbox One's first launched, Xbox still had the rights. I remember seeing Call of Duty Ghost on Xbox.
With the dog.
Facts.
When I say when people found out Sony took over the rights, that was enough to say, yeah, I'm going to switch over to Sony. That's what I'm saying. We can't talk about.
I'm sure a majority did. I'm sure a majority
ignore people what they consider value. For some people,
is Call of Duty.
Yeah,
but Puerto Rock, but you got to look at the dynamics, right? Like COD is really big in North America. Yeah. It's really big in one market in particular. If you look at the install base of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, it's actually much closer than it is globally in North America.
Yeah.
So there wasn't this big disparity between Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in North America because of COD. There wasn't, and so I don't think Microsoft says this, we're not going to put something on exclusive because it just doesn't make sense for them to do it business wise. It doesn't. That if they do that, they potentially kill the COD brand.
I think that in Shout to Crusader, don't you think they'll P-Rock?
Let me put it this way. You're saying it's kill.
Look at Minecraft.
Minecraft, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
I'll say Minecraft's a precedent. And the fact that they promised the FTC this, and it's hunting season right now for tech companies, number one. It might, because we know that the FTC can go back. You said Microsoft could say, you know what, we promised that COD wouldn't be exclusive. Now it's exclusive. The FTC can go back and say, wait a minute, guys, no, we're gonna go back and we're gonna revisit this. They're doing this with Facebook now, and the acquisitions that the FTC approved when Facebook acquired what is it? I forget what the oh my god, what are the applications that Facebook acquired? That
Instagram and all
Instagram,
them.
Yeah. So what's happening now, JVB? FTC's reviewing that again now, right? They can go back and review those things again, based on what Microsoft has said.
So what I'm saying, besides FTC, I'm just talking about just the gamers of movement. there is no line in the sand where majority of gamers will not at least also get an Xbox. That's what I'm trying to say. If Call of Duty moves on play, if Call of Duty moves and Microsoft says, hey,
I think it's very small. I think it's a very small group though.
No, I don't think it's a small group. If there's a lot of PlayStation, I mean, let me put it this way: Call of Duty outsells majority of the PlayStation first-party games.
Yeah, but it's a multiplat.
Yeah, but listen, within the PlayStation ecosystem, Call of Duty tends to outsell most of the first-party games. And what I mean by that is, if Microsoft removes Call of Duty from the PlayStation, what you're talking about is people are going to hold the line and be like, hell no, Microsoft, I ain't buying your console. I don't think most gamers care about that. Most gamers are going to be like, man, this sucks, but hey, I'm going to buy an Xbox. At least, at a minimum,
it's a win for Microsoft.
I think.
Think about it. Think about it. When you look at when you look at the sales disparity of PlayStation and Xbox, most PlayStation gamers don't buy an Xbox. Most PlayStation gamers only have a PlayStation. So even if Microsoft is able to convince people to be like, you know what, fine, I will also buy an Xbox. And
that brings, but you know what though, Waterrock. That brings me to this.
Think about it. The money's not going to be gone if you convince the fan base to just spend the money on
just to move over. I get it. You're saying just move over. I get it. Yo, but like,
disappear.
You really think the majority of PlayStation guys only like that? Listen, if you're a PlayStation gamer out there and you only have one console, like I don't understand what you're doing, bro.
But
like,
think about it. But think about it.
How the fuck can you sit there and not want to play these games? I don't understand.
But listen, but that's facts. PlayStation sells 100+ million. Xbox maybe 50. So you know most PlayStation gamers don't got an Xbox. The numbers don't line up.
Yeah, it's funny because Porter Rock, we used to say this all the time. That's why the Switch is doing so well, because that's whether you're a PlayStation fan or an Xbox fan, you have a Switch.
You're gonna get a Switch.
You have a Switch.
So you know Switch.
Well, that's not. Well,
it's penetrating deeper.
I mean, I'm not one for one BRAP, but that's it's pretty damn. It's up there.
No, but only like less than a third of the market actually owns multiple consoles. It's like 20%.
That's what I'm saying. So
what I'm saying, like, but like I don't think Microsoft's going to sacrifice revenue in the hopes that people jump ship. Like that's just not, because people won't jump ship, and a lot of people won't jump ship. Just like a lot of people
wouldn't do it with Destiny either.
I think the guys who won't jump ship don't really care for Call of Duty in the first place, which means they probably.
No, I don't agree with that.
P-Rock, I think when it comes down to it, though,
if you care about, let me put it this way: if you care about Call of Duty and you care about PlayStation, you just buy an Xbox.
Porter Rock,
and you'll
understand you're talking about the hardcore demographic in the industry, which only accounts for like 15% of the market.
Listen, I understand the hardcore. Let me put it this way: if you enjoy Call of Duty and you don't have it in your PlayStation, I don't see it as being just a hardcore thing for somebody to be like, you know what? I still enjoy Call of Duty. I want to play Call of Duty. I'm gonna buy the console that has Call of Duty. I don't see that as a big stretch of, oh, you got to be an absolute hardcore gamer to make that decision. I think any person that really wants to play a game, they're gonna buy the console that has the game. It's like Nintendo. If you want to play,
I don't disagree with that. I just don't think that it's enough for people to make that move. People are going to be like, you know what? I love Call of Duty. The hardcores are going to move, but the ones that are like, they're going to go somewhere else because there's options. Just like any other consumer product, there's options. We talked about the BMW X7. If it's not for you, you'll go somewhere else. You know,
the other option is PC, which Microsoft.
Well, no.
That.
Well, no, there's Fortnite.
Here's the thing, though,
P-Rock,
if they were going to do,
there is no replacing COD. If you want to play COD, there's no other game that could give you that.
There is some.
Well, I think Sony's working diligently right now. Not whether it becomes something that is. This is going to be hard because you've got how many people at Activision working? 3 different groups. Working round the clock every 3 years, putting out a new Call of Duty. Hear me out. They're not going to be able to put that out, but I think Sony's working hard. I think that's with the Deviation Games. I think they're trying to come out with something that won't be, I'm not going to use the word COD killer. That's stupid. That's not going to happen. But it's going to be something. They're trying to get a multiplayer game that's going to be for a PlayStation console and PC only. And that'll be something that people will flock to the console for. But I do want to say, to P-Rock's point, though,
Mooch,
I don't think they're going to do what P-Rock's saying, only because if they were going to make Call of Duty eventually be a situation where it's only on an Xbox service or console, they would do that instantly because the next 3 years, this is just dragging it out further. That means there's even more PS5s out in the wild. People, like you said, that only bought a PS5 for Call of Duty. They're not going to be able to go in 2025, 2026 and say, that's it, no more on PlayStation.
So,
I mean, they would really...
I don't think they have the ability.
Mooch,
I don't think they can do that.
Sony has the market rights for the next 2-something years or something.
And what happens to Warzone?
So Mooch,
Warzone stays that's everywhere. PC, everywhere. I think they would put Warzone on Switch.
That's always going to
so Mooch, here's the thing, and this is like, so okay, so with Xbox, right, and having COD, COD stays multi-plat. Now you have to like create a user account to log into what? Azure. Yeah. Right. Now you have all these new active accounts in Azure.
Yeah.
Now you're Satya and you're reporting, hey, we have all these newer users in Azure.
Right.
What does that do for the stock price of Microsoft? Increases it, which means more money. That's the end game. So it doesn't make sense for them to, cut off a group, a larger install base, where they can funnel those people into, because you got to remember, Microsoft, it's all about driving activity and services into Azure. That is Microsoft's end goal. It's all about Azure. It's not about Windows anymore. It's not about, it's all about Azure. I mean, Satya's been very clear about that. And that's kind of the genius of Phil Spencer. Like,
so you're saying when you go to play Call of Duty, doesn't matter if you're on PlayStation or not, it counts as Azure.
Yes.
And that's
so when
it,
Microsoft presents that to the shareholders get all excited. They're all happy. They have erections, that increases the price of the market price of the shares.
Let me ask you this. You spend $70 billion on this Activision and you got status quo. Like nothing really changed. Because I would say this, if Call of Duty, the annual release, is still on PlayStation, that's not going to make people get Game Pass or cut over to Game Pass. They're just going to still play on PlayStation. So all you're doing is now absorbing the PlayStation revenue, but it's status quo. Like you really didn't do nothing. Like
it isn't status quo. It isn't status quo. It isn't status quo.
Like think about it this: if you're trying to push Game Pass, and we all agree that's the #1 goal, what sounds better for the push for Game Pass? Game Pass, where you can play, Call of Duty, and it's only available on Game Pass supported devices. That no one's gonna care about that if I could still get it on the platform that I play on regularly. I'm not gonna like if I could get Call of Duty, I'm most definitely not gonna get an Xbox device to play Call of Duty when I already have access to it. I'm not gonna wait.
If your account is signing to Azure, that's making Microsoft money.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're still getting it. They're still.
It doesn't matter.
They can still get they're going to get 70% for every time someone buys it, and then they're going to get their stock increases because you're on their server, like you're using their system. It's
you're
double dipping.
When you're shining, you're on PlayStation 5, and Microsoft's you know what? You got to sign up for an Azure account, whatever. Maybe they don't do that, but maybe they transition your account to Azure in some way. But the point is that you are going into you are an active user now. Oh, so now when they put that out to Wall Street, you know what that does for the value of the stock? Increases it. When the stock increases, that's more money for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the end game.
So let me ask you this: so realistically, anything that's multiplayer, Microsoft will keep it on PlayStation. Anything single player, they'll put it.
That's got more of a. That's a single player game that is a new IP has a probably a 90% or 99% chance of staying exclusive. Jeff Grubb says it isn't status quo because Microsoft gets 70 versus Sony getting 30. The more successful Sony gets, Microsoft gets even more successful. They literally let them do the work.
And that's my. Yeah, and Grubb's right. Grubb's spot on. Like he's right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. But I'll tell you this much. You know what? And Grubb, I'm interested to hear what Grubb's going to say. He's going to say no. He's not going to agree with me. But depending on how the next couple of years go, I wonder. It's not going to happen next year. I wonder if in a year or two after Starfield, I wonder if Microsoft launches it on PS5 to make some extra money.
Let me ask you this.
I wonder if, and I pick on Starfield. Maybe not Starfield. Redfall. Whatever. A game that they're going to do exclusive. That might be. And that's just a. Same thing, way out of the ballpark fathom of an idea.
So I'm gonna go way out of the mark here. I'm just have a simple question. So if it's about Azure and multiplayer and activity, is Microsoft going to put Halo and Gears of War multiplayer on PlayStation?
They try to.
Just using I'm talking about not Game Pass, just the game for sale. Like
No,
They
Game Pass.
tried.
No, Game Pass. They tried to though with Game Pass.
No, not Game Pass. I'm not talking about Game
No,
Pass. I'm talking about standalone.
he's taking another
Like I don't
standalone
need to, like,
multiplayer.
listen, PC gamers don't need to buy Game Pass to play those games.
The play is not individual IPs for Microsoft. It's Game Pass. Again, it goes back to
but what I'm saying is with Call of Duty, you don't need Game Pass to play on PlayStation. What I'm talking about, Halo Infinite, you don't need Game Pass to play on PC. So you can put that game standalone on PlayStation. You don't need Game Pass to put Halo on there. So if it's all about Azure, wouldn't Halo benefit from the PlayStation audience? Wouldn't the next Gears benefit from the PlayStation audience for activity?
No, because
how is it different?
Because they want the recurring revenue from Azure, like Office 365. Like we talked about this, it's a subscription-based service now.
But what I'm saying though is they're not gonna get Game Pass on PlayStation. So Call of Duty is gonna be purely based. It's gonna be purely based on sales of Call of Duty. It's not going to be through Game Pass, meaning they're going to sell you Call of Duty every year, and that's how they're going to get their money through Azure. Wouldn't that same logic apply to Halo Infinite and Gears of War 6?
But those were native exclusives, though.
You sell. But if the end game is Azure, wouldn't that also increase Azure's rate?
No, because those aren't
as popular as Call of Duty, though.
Because
you're telling me PlayStation gamers wouldn't play Gears of War 6? You're telling me that wouldn't increase activity for Gears of War 6? You're telling me PlayStation gamers wouldn't be excited and go crazy playing Gears of War 6?
Because it needs to feed the Azure beast. Like if Sony's going to say, you know what, you can put Gears of War 5 on PlayStation 5, but there's but you know what, you can't do the you can't do the unique login for Xbox. We're not going to have that.
No, what I'm saying
it doesn't make sense for Microsoft to do that.
However, Microsoft is going to provide Call of Duty to PlayStation, that same method can be applied to Gears and Halo. It's a game with multiplayer. So however they're benefiting,
Gears doesn't live or die on the multiplayer being cross-platform. Like that it's always been exclusive.
Yeah, but
Gears is like way different from COD, bro.
But here's no, it's not. It's really not. All right, the only difference is
it actually really is.
It really is, bro. I know people don't even mess with multiplayer on Gears. They just love it for the
engagement numbers.
I'm one of them. Yep, I'm one of them.
All right, let's talk about Halo free to play multiplayer. Wouldn't that definitely benefit from?
Okay, that's different though. But that's a little different, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that expand a free to play multiplayer expand and be benefit?
Possibly.
Yes, but it would also be on PC and Switch and everything.
Yeah, so why don't they do that?
Well, they try to. We know this. Like
they try to via Game Pass. I'm saying,
because Game Pass is going to offer.
No, wait,
those
hold
things.
up. Halo doesn't rely on Game Pass. The free to play Halo doesn't rely on Game Pass at all. It's free to play. You don't need Game Pass for that one. So it's not that. It's definitely not that. Because free to play Halo, you just need an Xbox Live account. You don't even need gold anymore.
But it still feeds engagement in Azure, though.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. You put it on PlayStation, and like you said, just like how Call of Duty will feed Azure activity, Halo Infinite free multiplayer on PlayStation will feed Azure activity. Same method. But I don't think Microsoft's going to do that.
I mean, Sony uses Azure anyway in a lot of their applications.
Well, that's for cloud.
So it would be.
But you see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, if Call of Duty multiplayer will feed Azure, then Halo multiplayer will feed Azure. Gears of War 6 will feed Azure.
Well, it is feeding Azure already, though.
All those games will feed Azure. So why don't they make the decision to be like, hey, Halo Infinite's on PlayStation?
I think the thing is, I think it's
no, they tried. But what I'm saying is, they tried through Game Pass. They didn't try.
Well, yeah, because that's the pitch. It get people engaged. So the value proposition, it's more than Halo, and that's more than Gears,
and that was my point with Call of Duty, tying it to Game Pass. But you're saying they're not going to do that because the priority is Azure.
But Call of Duty's bigger than Game Pass. It's bigger than the franchises you talked about. It's always been a multi-plat game.
Yeah, so
way bigger than Gears too.
But why not? But part of Call of Duty, but part of Call of Duty being bigger is availability on more platforms.
Yeah,
Gears of War 6 will definitely grow.
That's why Microsoft's like getting rid of it. And we talked about the regular.
Well, take a look at MLB The Show. MLB The Show grew because it's on Xbox now, and now it's on Switch. It grew. That's why you see MLB The Show last longer on MPD, because now there's more people playing it. So clearly, if you put games on more console, there's no doubt it's going to grow.
Yeah, but that's
Gears
a game.
of War will grow.
Yeah, but P-Rock,
That was a game
like
that wasn't available.
right,
like,
right. That people were
baseball wasn't
starving for a
available.
baseball game other than RBI, R Stars, all these weird ass
Yeah.
little games. Like people were starving for a game.
Here's
Bro.
the-
What game does PlayStation have that's equivalent to Gears? And please don't say Uncharted. Don't.
No, I was gonna say,
There's nothing like Gears on PlayStation. So PlayStation.
Hey, Blaze,
games will not
Fortnite.
play Gears.
I will
I know.
say, but Porter,
They
but
could
Porter,
have something
there's
with
what I'm
Puerto
saying-
Rico.
what I'm
Porter,
saying is
there's
this.
people in the
If-
Xbox community right now that are saying that Gears 5.
Yeah, the order. The orders are Gears.
they
There you
have
go.
empty-
They
no,
could have. They
they-
could have had it.
Gears
with order.
5 has empty lobbies right now on Xbox. Like
Because you
nobody's
need
playing.
PlayStation.
Bro, Gears 5
So-
is a great
so
game
they're
and
that
it's
game.
dead.
What I'm
Dead.
saying is this:
It's
if the
dead.
logic of Call of Duty staying on PlayStation, because it will
For
feed,
Splinter,
it
Zerka,
will
and
feed,
Troubleshooters.
it will feed Azure
Right,
with the
Pip?
metrics and numbers. Then technically, any multiplayer game Microsoft
Out
makes
there.
will result the same. PlayStation fan base will help feed the metrics of Azure.
Mm.
So technically, any multiplayer game Microsoft makes
Mooch,
will accomplish the
Mm.
same.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if it's all about
Now,
Azure,
listen, your logic, I get. But no, I do. But I don't know if I don't know if the IP holds.
This is the
strength,
Azure
P-Rock.
podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
I really liked Halo Infinite, and at the time, I swear I enjoyed it. I put a lot of. I put like 12 days into that game. So I was
Hey, Blaze,
fucked with Halo
that
Infinite.
multiplayer though, the mechanics
Mul-
are legit. Though.
Multiplayer mechanics are solid. The foundation is solid. The shooting, right? But when Rogue
it's
Company
lacking
got
content, yeah.
more content than you,
Yeah,
and we're talking about
absolutely.
Rogue
Yeah.
Company, bro. This
Yep.
is your
I don't
biggest
disagree,
IP,
yeah.
Microsoft. Your biggest IP, the money maker, all the resources, all the development time that went into that game. It's a goddamn shame. It really is. It's
Yeah.
low key
Yeah.
embarrassing. That's why when
Very
motherfuckers tell
disappointing.
me, Blaze, just wait till Starfield. Like, bro, if you guys flopped your main IP, your biggest name, Halo,
Yep.
you think I'm gonna have confidence in your other shit? Now I'm still gonna
Game-
buy it because
the
I
game
buy.
that
I'm,
made the
I'm a,
brand.
yo, Mooch. I'm a different type of PlayStation fan.
Surprised anything.
I have a Series X Halo edition. I have an Xbox wall behind me with LEDs and shit.
Did you play on
I fuck
PC
with
though?
Listen,
Yeah.
just look
Yeah.
at his
No,
Vita
I
collection.
play where the games are at, but PlayStation has the best games in my opinion. I'm a Sony guy, bro.
Right.
He will buy anything. So that
Yeah.
tells you everything you need to know.
Bro,
Yeah.
no, but a Vita collection, bro. But I'm saying to you is, I buy things that I want to buy, obviously. But I'm not missing Gears of War because I prefer PlayStation games 100% through and through. I'm a PlayStation guy. But if you think I'm gonna miss an exclusive on the competitor's console because it's on a different box, you guys out of your fucking mind, bro. You guys are
Right.
fucking out of your mind if you think I'm missing the next Gears of War because I like PlayStation. I don't know. I don't know how y'all do that shit, bro. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I'm
Shout
kind
out
of.
to y'all.
Listen, I think.
Mooch, hey, Mooch, I gotta go, man. I gotta go real quick.
All right.
Cuphead.
All right, Brap. I'm going to wrap up right now. I just wanted to say I
Yeah.
really agree with what Blaze said, Brap, because he makes a good point. I can sit here and I do think that later part of last generation and, of course, the start of this generation, I firmly believe that Sony has had the better games. I really, really do. I think P-Rock and Blaze might even go, well, Mooch, you're wrong because you can go farther back than that.
Yeah, it's been
That's
more
fine.
than that.
Right? You can say
Yeah,
that.
man.
No, that's
we
fine.
have Reso Gun.
That's fine. No, there it is.
Pico 5.
Oh, no.
Pico 5,
And Godzilla.
baby.
Godzilla.
I forgot about Godzilla. Literally, you were Godzilla running
no.
around in circles. So
Loco Roco.
I do want to say a shout out to Brap. Brap, you have to leave. If you want to do a plug real quick, go ahead, buddy. Did we lose Brap already? He's muted. All right.
So,
Well, let me say this much. I want to say a shout out to the great Crusader. Crusader, I will have you on next week. We're gonna wrap up the show. I do want to say thanks to everybody. It's 9:35 here, 9:40 here in New York, and we're well over the 2-hour mark. I know these guys want to play games. They have families. They have friends. They have things to do. They might want to have a drink. I want to say thanks to each one of
I'm
you
in the
guys,
West
man.
Coast. It's only 6:30
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's true. That's
Beautiful
true,
thing,
P-Rock.
man.
Over there in the land of the beautiful, over there in
my
California.
God. Mooch, it's amazing. You can watch a Yankee game, and then when it's
Dude,
over, it's not 11
You
o'clock at
guys
night.
have
It's like
the
still
best
early.
sports clock on
Yes,
earth.
it is. This is the place. If you're a sports fan, you got to live in the West Coast.
Dude, you
'Cause
guys
you know
So
what?
wait.
I never thought of it like that, but you're fucking
Blaze,
right, people.
Blaze,
God.
he's got a brunch for the early game of football.
Yes.
Then they have a nice little light appetizer for the 4 o'clock. And we
Wow.
have, right? And then our game where we have to go to work the next day, and we're stretching our eyes. It's 12:30. These guys are done by 8:30. 9
Listen,
o'clock, they're done.
February 2021 was the first Super Bowl I watched in the West Coast, and when it was over, the sun was still out.
You know what
And I'm
though,
like, wait a
P-Rock?
minute.
P-Rock,
I'm like,
God bless you, brother. But when
yo,
that
it is
earthquake
the-
hits,
West
I'm outta
Coast is
here.
definitely a sport.
That earthquake is coming, P-Rock. You know that, right? All your nice PlayStation gear, that earthquake gonna hit soon.
It's definitely, you know, like the prize fight starts at
Grab that
midnight.
Vita
Well, now for
poster.
me, it's 9
Great.
p.m.
It's
It's
great.
amazing. It's definitely the sports coast.
Now that's
It's
awesome
crazy.
though. That is dope, bro. I used to hate staying up for Monday Night Football. Fuck, I got
Yeah.
work.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
man.
Six-
Especially if you're a Giants fan and they lost.
Yep.
Oh,
6
you're a
p.m.
Giants
my
fan?
God.
Oh
I
hell yeah,
am. Yeah, me
through and
too.
through.
Yeah,
Who said
y'all stole 2 rings from me, man. You giant.
We did
Right,
steal
right,
2
right.
from you. We needed those 2 though,
Hey,
Blaze.
hey,
Come on,
Eli,
man.
baby.
It's
You
been a
can't spell,
minute.
you can't spell elite without Eli.
Eli,
all right?
baby.
Exactly. Yep.
Bro, you
The
can't
most-
smell looking like a tuna fish can without Eli.
I
Like,
don't care. You can call him Rain Man all you want.
Yes,
but he
he
did
was.
it.
Meme.
Dude,
Eli's the
listen,
meme master.
they had some great
bro, you
interviews.
see the luck? These anyway, we'll get into
Oh,
it.
don't go there.
That's the
Listen,
whole
Blaze.
podcast.
Blaze. There was
It's too much of a podcast. Yeah,
That is too
That's
much
the
of a
whole
podcast.
in itself.
I'll go in reverse order here. JVB, you came last, but honestly, loved getting your takes on everything you said. Let people know where they can find you, and I appreciate you being here tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite and sorry for the fucked up audio.
It was just resetting the
you
computer.
sound great right
awesome
now.
Yeah.
You sound great,
you're
JB.
You're
Yeah.
on the phone,
well,
right?
I think it's my freaking anyway, I think it's my focus right. So I'm plugged in directly into the computer via USB. But you could find my podcast, the Post Game Report, on Apple and Apple Podcast, and I have a YouTube channel, Jose Betancourt, and on Twitter, JV Beta Photos. I think that's what it's called. I
You
don't even
changed
know.
it, but yes, it is.
Yeah. Changed it quite a bit.
You changed it a couple times there. That's fine though. I love it. JVB, great to have you on here. Honestly, we'll have you on again real soon, buddy. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you. And shout out to Ace Black. He told me to say what's up to you. He said,
Shout out
he
to
follows
that's the great Jimmy Harrison.
you. Yes,
Jimmy
I've known him
Harrison.
for many years. Many years.
He's an
Yeah.
outstanding man in the community. Let me tell you
Yes,
something
he-
right now.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Appreciate that, JVB. And then I've got my buddy here, Blaze 4K. Blaze, you know what, dude? Honestly, you just bleed the truth. You just spit the truth. That's what I love about you. I love about your podcast. I don't care if it's Twitter. I don't care what it is. And like you just said a moment ago, it really does hold a lot of truth. We sit here week in and week out, and it's a lot for the chat to take in. But hear me. Same thing Blaze said. If a game is good on anything, I don't care if it's Switch. I don't care what it is. I'm going to go play it there. Right?
play
It don't
it.
matter. So, Blaze, let people know where they can find you. And, buddy, honestly, I know you don't do a ton of podcasts, but I really appreciate you stopping by tonight.
bro, it's all right. My girl's like, I need help brushing it. He won't brush his teeth. My 3-year-old, he drives her crazy. So I kind of left. That's why I didn't know if you said anything. But yeah, I listen. I appreciate, I appreciate the invite. Mooch, like I said, bro, like we anyway, we'll get into it. But Solid Cast on Wednesdays, 9:00. Yeah, you know what I mean? Solid Cast, check it out. If you guys like gaming and then some real life, we go over some real life topics, once the news dries out, and that usually happens pretty fast. So Solid Cast, 9:00. And I'm a part with Big Cloud RGT on Fridays as well at 5 p.m. But yeah, I appreciate the invite. It was a great conversation, bro. I love it. You know what I mean? And Porter Rock, bro. Stop being a fucking stranger, bro. You know what I mean? Over here, you know what I mean?
Listen.
That is fact.
No. He invites me when when I have to now shoot and stay in the field. I'm like, bro, we had all year long, and now you want to.
You're right. No, you're right. No, but I'm saying I haven't seen you around, Porter Rock. I used to see you at least around in the chat.
Listen,
That is fact,
dude,
Porter Rock.
Blaze
Where you been
Blaze
at?
is legitimately sounds like all my cousins. Legitimately. They're like, hey, the minute me and my cousin have a great conversation, and then he's got to hit me with the zinger at the end. And by the way, don't be a stranger. When's the last time you stopped over to have a drink? That's what I get right there. I'm like, man, yo, Blaze hits
He's
you with
right.
that.
I hit him
That's
last
Italian
minute.
thing.
You're right. He's right.
That's an Italian thing. My cousins hit me with that all the time. They're like, hey, do you still know where I live?
Yeah.
What? I'm like, we're just what?
That's such a Northeast Coast thing too. Oh, you don't know? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Look who decided to show
Yeah.
up.
I'll send you
This is
my
so true.
I'll send you my address. Maybe that's how you can actually have a drink with you for once.
He's trying to send you an address. He definitely
I'm
showed up.
telling you, man. That's what it is. Shout out to Blaze, man.
Yeah, Blaze will
Awesome,
show
man.
up.
I can actually picture Mooch just fucking waiting by the door. Like, okay, he's gonna ring the doorbell. He's making that.
Yo, if you don't believe I'll show up to your house, ask Solid Rev. See how
I
that
saw
turned
that.
out,
I
baby.
saw that. So I was like, he really came. That
Yeah,
was really
they
great.
pulled up
but-
a bit.
Pause.
That was a great video.
Pause.
Pause. Shout out to Blaze. Oh, Big Cloud, honestly, man, listen, outstanding to have you on the show as well. I don't always get a chance to get you on the show. You podcast right before here, do a great show with everybody. Listen, honor to have you here. Love what you're doing. Keep getting bigger and bigger, reaching out, getting all. I want Bit to get big. All I want from Bit is a code. I'm like, Bit, you're hanging out with Neil Druckmann. Can I get a code? You know what I
Don't
mean?
forget the little people.
Yeah, I'm a mooch over here in the corner, dude. I'll pretend to be your camera, dude. I don't give a shit. Whatever you need.
Nah, Big Cloud will never. If Big Cloud changes up, oh.
Big Cloud has
I
me
agree
blocked
with you.
for some reason on Twitter.
Yo, and can we fix? Hold on, JVB.
Oh.
Listen,
You
can
had
we
me
fix
blocked
this
for a
shit?
month, so what the fuck you talking about?
Bro, listen, it's
Yeah, what
not
was
that
that?
You had
serious.
me blocked
Listen,
for
it's
months?
Big Cloud. Big Cloud. It's
Let
not that
Blaze
serious.
take it.
What's
Let
the
Blaze
issue?
take
It's not
it.
that serious, but why the fuck would he put me on blast when he had me blocked for months?
Well, we
He-
want
he
to.
said you had-
me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
obviously.
so JVB blocked him first.
Yeah, he had me blocked
Oh.
for months. And then he
Word?
fucking unblocked me and then fucking put that dumbass tweet on Twitter saying I blocked him. So if you're
What,
gonna
the
tell the
tweet today?
fucking story,
Well,
No,
number
no,
one, relax.
don't tell me no,
Relax.
don't put me on blast like that. Like I
No,
fucking
no.
blocked
I
you.
don't know who the
Ah,
fuck
ah,
you're
Don't do
fucking
that.
with.
Hey,
I'm
don't
coming
fuck
to
with
you.
me.
I'm
Come on.
coming to you.
Chill.
We don't
God.
need crossfire
Joking
now,
around.
guys.
Hey,
No,
Bit,
no,
Bit,
wait,
Bit,
hold
come
on,
Hey,
hold
Bit,
on,
we're
hold
on
on,
the
hold on, hold on.
podcast, Bit.
I'm
Chill,
coming-
everybody chill.
Hey, give me
I'm
it.
coming to you. I'm
it.
coming to you.
There you go.
Very
Appreciate
relaxed.
y'all.
So-
Thanks for
so-
having me.
So you know, we could talk about. If I blocked you, I apologize. If Porter Rock could attest to it, there are times I block people for stupid reasons. So no offense, no offense taken. You blocked me, and I apologize if I said something in the past because I probably did. So there's no need for you to be coming at me like that. I'm just trying
I
to
think
talk.
you guys, honestly, I was going to say, I think we can make it water under the bridge. Listen, there's no better
Yeah,
example
no
than
doubt.
me and
Yeah,
Porter
I'm
Rock.
fine
Look at
with
me
If
and
you don't
Porter Rock.
remember,
Me and
Yeah.
Porter
Hey, man,
Rock.
look at me and you.
And
Look at me and
Brad.
Mooch.
yeah.
Look at me and Mooch.
I have literally, I think the majority of this panel and me were blocked.
I know.
So-
Yeah. Hey,
So I hear you. I feel
I'll
you
be the
guys.
first to. I'll be the first to admit if I said something stupid because I probably did. I've been in this a very long time, so my bad if I did that.
I
I
think me
wasn't
and
trying to put you on
JVB
blast.
were
I
also
think I was
blocked.
out. Yeah. You and I had our fair share of shit talking back in the day.
I think I was
Yeah,
blocked too.
see, here's the thing. Again, I never interacted with you like your tweet said, and I
Oh.
was mysteriously blocked by you.
Yeah, that's
and I've been
why.
bothering you for
Like I
months, so
told
I don't know
Mooch,
what you're
I
talking
said,
about.
I said it was probably via association. So, you know,
Association
which
of
probably
what, though?
was, you know,
That's what I'm saying.
like maybe there was some conversation.
Yeah, but what
That a bunch
association?
of-
What do you mean? Explain
No,
that.
maybe
Like,
there was some trash talking on my feed that sometimes I see for people I don't follow, and I just start blocking whoever's in that conversation, so I don't have to see it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So
whatever, yo. It's
I mean,
not
I do
that
it all the
serious,
time.
guys. Keep it moving.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
It's not
definitely.
serious. It's not.
definitely. I mean, I
Yeah.
just, I just didn't. Expect
Listen, if you bring
to
up
like-
people's family members, you start talking crazy. That's different. But this is
Oh
nothing,
yeah,
bro.
and
Y'all can move past.
I
Yeah.
Bro,
look,
Big Cloud, you ain't got to play Road Company with him after this is over. Just
look,
you know.
I know, I
Motherfucker,
didn't
you
do
still
that.
running from that fade, you bum.
I know I didn't do that. I hope I
Here
didn't
you
do
go.
that.
Here you go.
Yeah, I know I did. You know how to do it.
Hey, Cloud, did I? Because if I did,
Huh?
I don't do that. Did I say something crazy about family or whatever?
I don't know. You
Okay.
blocked me, and I responded by
Alright.
blocking you.
All right. No. Hey, that's totally fair, brother. That's totally fair.
No,
You
I
know.
think
yeah.
Blaze was just giving an example.
Look,
He was just trying to say
yeah,
if that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you
I
do.
don't-
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't-
No.
I don't think there was any malice, but JVB, I understand what you're talking about because I do the same thing. Like when I'm
Oh,
on
yeah,
a Twitter
yeah.
feed or thread, I say something and people are acting like, talking. I'm just like, block.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to hear it anymore. I get
Listen,
it. Yeah.
That's
I'm
true.
not using my brain injury as an excuse, but sometimes I'll do shit and I don't even realize I did it. So
No,
Hey,
I think I
I can honestly say I had no beef with you prior.
That's like me in happy
you know,
hour.
I'd like to see these guys unblock each other. Listen, this is the. I told you guys this is going to be the
This is time of
unblocked. This is
healing.
going to be the unblocked edition of Crossfire.
Facts.
Hey, look. Hey,
Facts.
Yeah.
hey, real talk. Hey, Mooch and I
This
were.
man
Mooch
Mooch
and I
trying to
did-
be the matchmaker. I see what the
Yeah.
hell you
Ah.
Well, Ben, you see
Well,
that,
hey,
Ben? I just want everyone to get along, Bit. That's all I'm asking.
Hey, Big Cloud, hey, Mooch and I, we were blocked. Mooch and I blocked each other
2
for
years.
like 7 years. No, more than that.
7 years.
I know.
I
blocked
you.
7 years.
God, the
We
show
blocked
isn't
you
even
for
that
5
old.
minutes.
It was
Like, I
like
just
2
got on
years.
Twitter.
I just joined.
I was like, what?
No.
What's going
No,
on?
but I like. Listen, yo, Mooch. Can I just say this though? It's okay. It's okay to tell somebody you think they're whack and you don't fuck with them. Listen, I think it's okay. Like that's a lost art.
Blaze,
like if you don't like that person,
I didn't fuck with Mooch for a while.
fuck Mooch.
Screw Mooch. Screw him.
No, but you guys
No,
moved past
I was
it.
like,
That's all I'm saying.
really,
You guys were able to move past it.
That's
Blaze,
right.
I was like,
I reached
Mooch,
out to him.
I
I
was-
said, listen, I reached out to someone I
Yeah.
knew, BRAP knew. I said, listen, ask BRAP if he could just unblock me for a minute. We talked for a minute. And listen, you know what we found out? We missed 2 years.
What was it about?
Oh, PlayStation VR.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, man. What?
Which is
Yeah, those
nothing.
conversations.
All
are
right,
crazy
all right.
back
What you
then,
petty blocked the PlayStation VR.
Oh, I went over. No, but it wasn't necessarily like I love VR. I don't love. It was just about like it was a console war thing. It was stupid. Absolutely insane.
Let me guess. Let me guess. He said the controllers look like dildos.
Oh, man.
That's what he
Mooch
said.
is hot.
The old move controllers.
That's what he said. That's what he
Those move
said.
controllers were horrible.
No, but hey,
They
you
were,
know,
they
you know what's
They
you know
were,
what's
though.
crazy? Like when I talked to Mooch, I'm like, holy shit, we have more in common.
We do.
I mean, like, yeah, it was crazy. We really did.
A lot of
It's
people,
like-
you know,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is just a wise word. This isn't nothing but the panel. This is for the chat. Guys, honestly, a lot of the people you have blocked, you probably get along with them if you actually talk to them
It's
for
true.
a second.
It's true.
You
It's
know?
absolutely
it's true,
true,
like-
man.
Like Mooch and I have talked, and I'm like, I'm like, we get along. Like we have a lot in common.
We do.
And we don't-
Brap gets my blood
and
pressure up every Friday morning. He calls me up with these hot topics for Crossfire. And I'm like, dude, I'm working.
God.
I'm all riled up at work, Bet.
You know,
Oh,
sometimes
who's
Yeah,
that?
I think I was in the Discord. You were literally
Just-
screaming
just-
while you
just-
was on the call.
you can't really read the room. And when you listen to so many people, you know, one guy make point and you just maybe just associate with them and you just get tired and you don't know who's who.
It's true.
Like, you know what?
It's
Just
true.
shoot up everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that- yeah, yeah.
Facts, P-Rock.
Sometimes you don't realize that the person didn't mean no malice, but after like 100 tweets,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
You're just
you
done.
go right along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know what's funny about me and Mooch? Like, we still don't agree in everything.
No.
But we have a conversation though, and like we like we don't agree,
Listen,
and we
that's
move
what-
on.
But that's
That's
how
what
it is in
moves
real
on.
life.
That's
man.
what
how it
that
in
is real life.
you know?
That's it, JVB.
Yep.
That's why I
Yeah,
tried
exactly.
to metamorphosize this podcast. I like bringing people on with difference of opinion. I understand. And you know, guys were saying, "Oh, we're all like Sony."
No,
That's
listen,
not true.
listen,
There's a
listen.
lot
No,
of people tonight that
I-
didn't agree with people on the panel. That's
No,
fine.
I'm with you.
Like,
Yo, this is my
I
type of
got-
talk, Mooch.
Hold
Oh,
on.
man.
When I grew up in the Bronx,
I
when I
wish you
grew up
were
in the-
100%. But I'm like, dog, I have no malice towards anybody. I'm out here doing
Ben, you
things
really don't.
on the side. I have no malice to anybody. I'm just like,
Yeah.
dog,
Yo, when
Like,
me and my boys used to talk shit in the Bronx about video games, we would get into like each other's face,
Oh
We'll be
yeah.
down.
arguing over video games. And then
How
next
old are
thing
you,
know,
JV?
I'm 50.
Brad-
50.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh shit.
Old
Yeah,
school.
like,
Wow.
for example, Mooch blocked me, and both
Yeah.
him and Cracker blocked me because in 2015 I told them that I think PlayStation.
He told me that
No,
Tropico
no,
5 was going to
but I told
outsell Gears of War.
No, no, it was
I'm kidding,
Halo
P-Rock. I'm
5,
kidding.
Halo
I'm kidding. I'm
5.
kidding.
Halo 5 came out in October, so there was conversation that's gonna feed momentum November. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen because Call of Duty, you know, marketing rights and Star Wars. Now, but picture this. No, but to be all serious,
He's right, he's right.
If I told Mooch that, and he's been spending all day talking to PlayStation guys saying Halo sucks, Star Wars is whatever, he might be tired of that. And by the time I approached him with that, he's like, I'm sick of this shit. Block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because-
it
because-
happens to all of us.
Because
I was
P-Rock's
just
right.
my
P-Rock, we
opinion,
never
but after
actually
1,000 times it gets old. So you
He's-
just gotta start blocking people.
exactly because we didn't even get into an argument or nothing. It was just
No,
like
it wasn't
yeah.
even an
So
argument.
it's kind of like with JVB and Ben were saying.
All right,
it was
you know,
like back and
goddamn
forth,
well, your
and it
ass
was
to
just
get
bad.
tired. That's all you preach. That's
Right.
all
You
know, goddamn well, that's
I'm
what
telling you, Halo sucks.
That's
Yo,
funny.
Optimus
Just
Cole.
preach.
For some reason, Optimus
Not the
Code
code.
has me blocked. And I'm like, what did I do to Optimus Code? So
Really?
it happens, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
know
just
what though,
don't know.
Mooch? When
Yeah.
you were the Mooch with the little American flag Mooch.
Yes, yes.
Captain America.
Captain America.
You
yeah.
might,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
you might
good
have
old
you might have
Captain
caught a
America,
fucking, you know what I mean, a shotgun blast to the chest a couple times. I'm not gonna lie.
Blaze,
Hey, Mooch, I wasn't feeling that Mooch, by the
I'm
way.
not even. Blaze doesn't realize that I walk around with Kevlar on all the time now. That's the reason for
No,
that.
but
Yeah,
Mooch, yo, you know what? I want to give Mooch. Hold on.
It was the other.
No, I
logo.
want to give Mooch credit real quick,
Uncle
though.
Sam one. You know what I'm talking about, Mooch?
Yeah, the Uncle Sam one. Yeah.
That was the one. That was the other one.
Can I give you your flowers, Mooch, or what?
Please,
I
Blaze.
remember that shit.
Listen, I'm not just saying this shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't interact with Mooch as much as I should because he's a fucking solid dude.
Appreciate that.
But I'm telling you, when it comes to podcasting and setting the tone and vibe, you sound like you're about to two wrestlers are gonna walk out, bro. Like you just do a good job of holding the room and shit like that. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Because when Strictly brought that up and I'm listening to you, I'm like, yo, this guy's really good at what he does, bro.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So shout out to you and shout out to your success, brother.
You know what it is, Blaze?
You should bring back Mooch's minute. You should bring back Mooch's minute.
Oh, I remember Mooch's minute.
Those were amazing.
Mooch's minute.
Nah. Hey, I remember Mooch's minute.
The latest news
don't
in
do
under
that.
1 minute. Like,
did.
It was amazing. Like, how does he do it?
We need live wire.
Porter Rock, I spoke as fast as I possibly could. I don't even know if I could do that anymore.
Yo, nobody knows how. Yo, that's tough to do 1 minute.
Hey, Mooch,
It was a 1 minute bit, and it was just news flying. Like
I used to have to do. I used to have to
forgot
do
about
2
that.
minute. I used to have to do 2 minute segments for a radio station about video games, and that was fucking hard.
Dude, it's not
man.
easy, dude. I'm
Bro,
reading
can we
this
get a
fucking
Mooch's
preface.
minute? Can we get like a 30
You know
second?
what? Maybe I will do a minute. I'm gonna do a minute. I'm gonna get it out there. But it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna have quite the greatest animations, but I'll put a video out there. It won't even make the algorithm for YouTube a minute. You know, see now you have to do like 8-minute shows. The shortest you could do for YouTube's 8 minutes. Well, that's not. I mean, that's if you want to do something.
You said 8
monetized.
minutes.
It
That's
is. They're all
bullshit.
like, it's crazy.
It's 10, Mooch.
If it's 10 minutes, I'll run out of air. I'll literally be passed out before I finish.
That's natural. That's like natural for you in conversation.
might.
Like when I call you Discord, you're like, blah 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 blah. Like a minute. It's fast.
It's hard to get a word in with BRAP. So once BRAP takes a breath,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
when I know I can
yeah.
get in there.
Oh,
That's when I know I can get in there. You know.
I do
RIP
like
that
to talk.
stuff.
Yeah, I do like to
So
talk.
yo,
and
guys,
that's a New York thing too.
it is.
Yeah, but
because,
Mooch,
well,
you know how this community is, bro. Like everybody got clicks, and they,
Oh
they,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I made up.
my click.
Right, but the thing is, like, yo, there's PlayStation guys that I can't stand. Trust me. There's Xbox guys I can't stand. But like, you know, if I just feel like everybody judges everybody based off what they're doing on Twitter. If they got Twitter followers and a YouTube, that's how they value you.
Yeah.
They look at you for who you are as how many views you get it. That's some fucking
that's
bullshit,
true. Right.
bogus bozo shit. Like you're gonna judge me as a man off my fucking YouTube?
Because those numbers can be manipulated.
Yes, but that's how these clowns be judging people. But you can check my numbers are solid always. Go check them, no problem. I'm just letting you know that.
I don't even
that's some corny shit.
To my shit.
It's this generations of people, man. Like your stature is tied.
It's these new age
social
gamers.
media.
They're fucking soft.
I don't
Oh
understand
yeah,
it,
definitely.
but it's tied.
I don't understand it,
I
bro.
don't understand it either. I don't get it personally.
No, it's like Blaze said. It's all about your numbers now. It's not about you. It's about your numbers. It's
It's almost 10
crazy.
o'clock, man.
I know. Guys. I kept do a plug, please. Plug the channel, bit.
No God. Anyway,
Come on, bit.
Buckloud. It's Buckloud.
It's Buckloud.
Well, we interrupted Bit. I want Bit to be able to do his
Big
outro.
Yeah, Big Cloud, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Appreciate the invite. Obviously, RGT did not happen today because my cousin's funeral is tomorrow. So that's what's going on.
My
there,
condolences, man.
Appreciate it. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Hope you guys enjoy life for one. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy
Facts.
time with the ones
Yes.
that matter most.
Yep.
Look out for one another. And of course, you know, life's short, man. Seriously, life's short. It's video games in the day. I don't give a fuck if you agree with the price hike. If you don't agree with that price hike, whatever the case may be, I don't give a shit about this YouTube, Twitter drama. So, you know, that's why I don't interact with a lot of people as it is. Too busy
good
with
advice,
shit outside
Good
on
advice.
YouTube. I'm too busy with shit on the side.
Yeah.
And
Time is precious, man.
exactly. And that's just how it is. But hope you guys enjoy. Y'all, y'all have a good one. And see y'all later.
Thank you, Bit. I appreciate that. Then I got my buddy here, Porter Rock. Yo, P-Rock, honestly, I got to be honest with you, man. This was a lot of fun tonight, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah,
I had a
we got
blast.
two New Yorkers in here. What did you expect?
Word up.
I'm telling you, man. This is
Don't
going to
forget
be
about the Bostonian, man. Come on.
the Bostonian, of course. No,
Blaze, I'm gonna throw you out
this
the
is-
goddamn window.
This was long overdue, and now I actually have to apologize to P-Rock. P-Rock, unfortunately, tonight was so good that I'm going to have to bother you to come on the show like I've been bothering these other panel members over and over again. No, I'm definitely going to be having you on the show again, man. Love getting your takes.
I was going to take a nap, and Mooch blows my damn phone up. It's like, yo, Big Clout. I need
I'm like, yeah, Bit, I don't let Bit go. I DM him, then I start hitting him on Twitter, then I start hitting his people he knows. I'm like, somebody call Bit real quick.
I know it's urgent when you tag me in a damn feed and it says, yo, Big Clout,
Yo,
damn, all caps.
He did that to me today. He did that to me today.
He'll literally,
Blaze
do
too.
that shit. He'll say DM, like, you motherfucker.
That's how I know you guys, because on DMs, people could be like, oh, I didn't check my DMs. I didn't even look. I didn't even see anything. But if you hit them on the public with the DM, how are you going to say you didn't see it? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna start stealing that shit.
It's the Guido move. It's a Guido move. It's just the same thing with like, hey, you know, Bit, why don't you?
That ain't no Guido move. That's some mob
me?
shit. You like DM.
That's
I expect
mob
an
shit.
answer.
That's some mob shit. Yeah.
Answer.
That's some mob shit.
It
I expect
was.
the answer by
Yo,
5 o'clock. Like type of shit.
I can see Blaze rolling his eyes and be like, what the fuck? A DM
No,
public?
no, I'm with that.
I'm
with that, bro. I
right,
like
good.
the power. I like that shit.
That's how. It's the only way I know I can get attention now. I'm like, I gotta get these guys' attention, man. We got a show. We gotta do this show tonight. But P-Rock, yo, I appreciate you being here, man. It was honestly honor to podcast with you. First time, like I say, long overdue. Let people know where they can find you, and of course, I can't wait till you're back on the show again.
Of course, it's your only friend in these YouTube streets. You can find me on my channel, PorterRock77, 60 Frames No Lag podcast, every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And I'm sure I'm gladly invited on Crossfire just as long as the Mets keep winning.
I got news
I
for you.
already know the requirement.
Well, they're losing right now, P-Rock, and I'm pissed off. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pissed. They're losing to the Rockies. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Thank you, P-Rock. Appreciate you being here. And, of course, last but certainly not least, the great Basement Arena Arcade podcast, BRAP, BRAP, you know, you did something you never do.
Yeah.
You're like, I got to leave.
What's that?
And you didn't leave.
And you came back. What the
Yeah,
fuck? I know.
I was like,
came back.
which is fine, by the way. You know, you got a seat in the house, you know, but great to have you here, BRAP. Always good to talk
Well, I'm
to
in
you, buddy.
trouble
You know
right
that.
now, by the way. I'm in trouble.
Tell her, I blame it on Mooch. You know, blame everything on Mooch.
No, I am. I blame on Mooch. So-
Inflation, anything you want.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I'll take
Just
care
make
of
sure you
it. but-
put hashtag DM at the end of it. There you go. All caps.
DM. Yo, Ben,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah.
great. I'm
I
glad
don't think
Britt
that's gonna
brought
help
that
it.
up. Brad, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, buddy. And thanks for being here tonight.
No, absolutely. Look, great show, by the way. You know what though? It's funny because you know, like the one thing I see on Twitter, like people take things so seriously, and you know, the whole thing with JVB and Big Cloud, and like Mooch, you and I, like we talked about it, like we blocked each other for a long time.
Long time. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we talked about, you know, the blocking and all that, and we realized actually we love video games.
Yeah. Well,
It
it's
was
a lot
amazing.
of
It was
other, and a
great.
lot of other
Yeah.
shit.
A lot of other things like, you know, wine, you know, liquor, and all, you know.
Yeah, we do get into a little of that.
that's- yeah,
Which I can't wait to have. I can't wait to have a little whiskey after this show.
yeah. No, but I'm saying like, you
Yeah,
know,
Mooch
it's
and I are
just, you
Giants
know,
fans, so.
yeah, Danny Dimes, right? No,
Yeah, right?
Oh, God.
great, great show by the way. And no, seriously, Mooch, look, man, love the show. Friday nights, love the different perspectives. I think we need more of this. Like, I don't think we get enough of this, you know. And we don't have to agree, but we all agree that we love gaming, and that's
Absolutely.
you know, that's kind
This
of
be your best episode in a long time, Mooch.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
This was a great show. I really hope
And it's
everybody-
real conversation, bro. It's not some bullshit, you know, fluff. This is some, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's why it went
exactly.
on so long, because motherfuckers can't close their mouth like me. Like it's some real shit, bro.
But Blaze, I heard a rumor though about you.
What is
Oh
it?
no! Oh no!
I heard that Slobo is better at first-person shooters than you are. Is that true?
Oh shit!
No.
Cut the.
That's
cut
what
the
I
mic.
heard.
Cut,
In
cut,
first person or third
it's like
person?
cut the podcast.
Cut the pause because I'm better than Slow-Mo. That's what I'm
He's
saying.
better. He's better than me at Disney World Fortnite, yeah. But Road Company,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, he don't
Here
want
we
that
go.
smoke.
Here we
Okay,
go.
Blaze, I will let
You don't
Slobo
want that.
know that. Then
You
I
let
can
him know
that.
You
You
can-
let him
I
know,
can know
dog.
that.
I can't wait to watch the slow-mo Blaze.
Shout out to Slow Mo,
stream.
man. Shout out
Shout out
to
to
Slow Mo.
slow-mo. Absolutely.
Love
like,
Slobo.
Here's a
Yeah,
wild
but,
part. We actually played Slow. Remember that shit, Blaze? We ran into.
Yeah, yo, we ran into Slow Mo. He was on the other team. and we beat the brakes off him. But Slow-Mo did his thing. But he was like, "Oh, I had randoms. I had randoms."
Hey, Slow-Mo's got skills though. Like
He absolutely does.
Got skills. Yeah.
Dude, he had
Slow-Mo's
like-
a beast, bro.
Dude,
He's a
he had
beast.
like
at-
20 downs.
He is,
on
dude,
his
he
team.
is.
He did
Yeah.
really good.
But guys, I want to say
But,
thanks to
yeah, Mooch,
everybody.
Mooch.
I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your lives, enjoy your games. Guys, let me say, and by the way, the Mets just tied the game, so we got to watch that and have a drink. Listen,
Go Mets.
let's go Mets, absolutely. Guys, let's do this again next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And guys, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing it right after Crossfire or I'll be doing it Saturday, but I am going to try and do it in its entirety. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of The Last of Us Part 1 remake on my twitch.tv, Mooch TV over there. Please go follow. Hit the subscribe button on the way out. Hit the like button. Thanks to the chat. Thanks to the panel. And again, we'll see you guys next Friday. Peace out and enjoy your weekend.
Very good.